You are now in the arena. Welcome to Gridiron, presented by Underdog.
Whoa,
Woo,
whoa.
woo. We just had the first night of the NFL draft, so I am so excited to get these guys' opinions on what went down last night. But my name is Kinsey, and joining me today is one of the most prolific figures in the history of sports media and the man who has never lost a debate. He's lost multiple bets, which we'll get into later. But Skip Bayless!
It's my turn!
Super Bowl champion, 5-time Pro Bowler, and 2-time All-Pro cornerback, Aqib Talib.
Yeah.
King of quarterback breakdowns and top 5 passer in USC Trojan history, Cody Kessler.
Yeah.
A man who woke up feeling extra good today and came repping his team. We have Cemetery Larry, Dr. Rashad McCants.
Yeah.
That was easy.
You look good.
Thank you.
You feel good?
I appreciate it. I'm here to shine the light. That's all. That's all. Just here to shine the light.
God.
That's it.
The
shine the
prop
light.
king is here.
Yeah.
Skip, where's your oversized Cowboys hat at?
Yeah. All I got to say is I already congratulated this man before the show because he did get me again on Jordan Tyson. But I am here to say, before this show gets started, that Makai Lemon, you being a lemon hater, is going to make you look bad before this is over because he went to his team because the best GM in all of football ran Super Bowl rings around Jerry Jones again and had the steal of the draft and upstaged the entire first round by landing the guy you don't like.
Of course I disagree.
Yeah.
Of course I disagree.
Yeah. Here we go.
I love it.
So just to clear that up for everybody, you were saying that Jordan Tyson's going to go above Makai Lemon, and they put money, they put a bet on it, and now, what is it, 3 dinners he owes you?
It's like 5.
It's
At
3.
this point, look, at this point, we could just walk across the street, get a sub. You know what I'm saying? I'm starving.
You know what?
I just want to eat now.
You name it, Beverly Hills, you name time, place, date, I'll be there with my credit card.
There you go, baby.
You might need to bring your family at this
you
point.
go.
Yeah. Bring
I'm
your
gonna
family.
eat enough for
You
everybody.
can bring everybody. Bring the whole couch. Bring it on. I'll do it because you earned it. But I do think that because GMs and coaches watch the show, and I do think they respect what you say, I feel like you spoke Jordan Tyson into existence.
See how I did that?
You hyped him and hyped him and hyped him, and 3 weeks ago, he was mocked below Makai Lemon.
Yeah.
See how I did that, Skip?
Yeah, you
Yeah,
did
we
that.
don't need
They
anything
know I know
more
what
to
I'm
go to this
talking about.
man's
Yeah,
head.
they know I know what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
You know? They know.
Keep this
GM
man
soon.
humble. Come on.
I'm being GM soon. I'm just
Let 'em
focusing on
walk.
my kids
Yeah,
right now.
yeah.
Once the kids, everybody get to college, then
You're
I'm
gonna-
gonna go get the big bucks. You know
Well,
what I'm saying?
you are earning your way right now
I
on this
appreciate
show.
it, Skip.
All right, you guys, we got a packed show. We got a lot to talk about. One of them being that the Rams shocked everyone by picking Ty Simpson. We're going to dive into this. And then the Cowboys did end up trading up, but only one spot, and they landed a guy people did not expect to be there. I was really excited about. And after months of speculation, we finally know Jeremiyah Love will be playing next year with the Cardinals. So we're going to discuss that. But as always, this episode is presented by Underdog. Underdog's available in most states, including Texas, California, and Florida. New customers get $50 in bonus entries when they play just $5 to get started. Use code GRID when you sign up. It's going to load instantly. Underdog, make picks, win money with code GRID. So the pick that absolutely shocked me the most, so I'm excited to get your guys' opinion, was the Rams selecting Alabama quarterback Ty Simpson with number 13 overall. I feel like this was a waste of a pick. We're going to get into it with the guys. We talked all last week, and I think everybody agreed he wasn't a first-round quarterback, so to go to the Rams, pretty shocking. But I want to bring up something on the screen here because one thing that was pretty shocking is I don't know if Sean McVay was in on this decision or not because he did not seem super excited. Let's pan to that.
Yeah, I did. I'll keep that between us. We'll see. He's going to compete with Stetson. Yeah, there was a lot of players that we liked, but when you do look at it, I think the thing you liked about the body of work is, let's make one thing clear. This is Matthew's team. And you get a chance to be able to address, the backup quarterback. We've got Stetson. We've talked about the importance of Jimmy. So to be able to add somebody that you can evaluate a body of work where he was asked to play the position and a lot of things that do translate in terms of concepts, reading with his feet, some of the different things in the drop back in the play action game.
So I don't know if you guys saw that on social media. I'm thinking to myself, yeah, Sean was not on board for this decision, but Aqib, did the Rams taking Ty Simpson make you like him more as a player?
Hell no. I feel the same way I felt last week about it. You just watched that tape, and it don't jump off the tape to me. His game just don't jump off the tape to me. So I wish I could, sit down with Sean, have a brew or two, you know what I'm saying, and really get the truth out of him and see what they love so much about him. Because you got to love him to draft him at 13.
Yeah.
Or somebody in the building loved him to draft him at 13. So I just wish I could sit down and see. But Sean and Les, they do a great job, you know what I'm saying, keeping the Rams competitive, building that team. But they never drafted a quarterback. This is the first quarterback that they drafted. So I can't say that they just experts at drafting. Most of their team, most of their good players on their team come from trades and free agency. They done drafted Cooper Kupp, a steal in the 3rd round, Jared Verse, a nice first-round pick. Besides that, it ain't really too many big-name guys who they drafted in 10 years. There's 10 drafts for these guys. So I can't just say they experts at drafting. They experts at free agency and trading and building teams, but just not at drafting. So I think, I don't know. I don't know what kind of player he'll be in the NFL. I know he'll have a good system. I know he'll have a year or two to learn it because they extended Stafford as we speak. He probably gonna be there 2 more years. But I just can't call it, man. Why? I don't know. And to answer your question, no, it didn't make me like him better at all just because Sean them picked him at all.
Rashad, how you feeling? Because we were kind of talking smack about this before the show started.
I want Cody.
Oh, you want Cody to go?
Just real quick.
Yeah, Cody. Yeah, you're the quarterback guy. Let's see.
Yeah. Look, there's a lot to like about Ty Simpson on film. And I said this on Monday. I think he has a solid arm. He's got really good pocket presence. He knows how to identify a defense, especially with their protection calls, and to re-identify the linebackers to make sure that he's protected. And he also does a good job of processing very quickly, getting through his progressions, and for the most part, knowing where to go with the football. However, the concerns with Ty Simpson were the lack of consistency with his play throughout the year, as well as the lack of experience that he has as a starting quarterback. Obviously, the Rams weren't too concerned with that, and they saw enough in those 15 games and throughout this pre-draft process to spend the 13th overall pick on him and make him their future franchise quarterback. I didn't know how to feel about that. I went back and forth, and I think there are 2 ways to look at this. Last night, my first thought, as I'm sure was a lot of other people's, was confusion. That was my initial reaction to that draft pick because the Rams right now are in their Super Bowl window. So to me, it would have been more beneficial to spend a first-round pick on a guy that can come in and contribute right away and help them get over that hump rather than spending a first-round pick on a quarterback that's not going to play for at least 2 to 3 years. On top of that, you're in the most competitive division right now in the NFL with a team that just won the Super Bowl last year, and you were 1 game away from going to the Super Bowl and lost in the NFC Championship game. Why not add a player that can immediately help you get over that hump and get to the Super Bowl, especially with a quarterback like Matthew Stafford, who's towards the end of their career? But that leads me to my next point. I think the other way that you can look at this, and what I think led to this decision for Les Snead, for Sean McVay, and the Rams, is that they want to stay in that Super Bowl window. They want to extend that Super Bowl window even after Matthew Stafford leaves, because right now, he just won the MVP. Yeah, he was the best quarterback in the NFL last year, but he is towards the end of his career. And since the Rams have done such a great job of building this roster year in and year out, and they've been competitive under Sean McVay, they have the luxury of spending a first-round pick on their future quarterback while still being competitive and being Super Bowl favorites this upcoming season. I really believe that. And they also did a great job this offseason addressing their main positional needs. You remember they went out and traded for Trent McDuffie and then made him the highest paid corner in the NFL. They also added Jalen Watson, who was his partner in crime in Kansas City, to immediately address their secondary and more specifically their cornerback position. So they made great moves this offseason. I just think they had the luxury of spending a first-round pick on Ty Simpson because even without getting a guy that can contribute right away, they still have a Super Bowl caliber roster and are a lot of people's favorites to win it all this season. So there are 2 ways to look at this. Again, I was very confused at first, but then when you sit back and look at the totality of what the Rams are building in Los Angeles right now and what they've been building the last 9 years with Snead and Sean McVay, this pick does make a little bit more sense, but I am still leaning towards spending the pick on someone that could have contributed right away and then maybe in the future finding a quarterback. But the final thing I'll say is you don't know if or when you're going to be in this position again to get a quarterback. So they wanted to plan on their future now instead of being in panic mode when Matthew Stafford left.
So do you like it or not like it?
Is Cody still confused?
Cody's
No.
You say he was confused last night. He still sounds confused this morning.
Cody forever loves everybody.
That's what I'm saying, though. There's two sides to look at this.
No, it's not.
Yes, there is.
No,
Yes,
it's not.
Okay, because what is the biggest issue? This is why I started feeling okay with the decision. Although, look, I say 60-40. 60, I'm confused. I don't love the decision. 40, I understand where they're coming from. The reason I say that, though, is what is the biggest reason that teams drop off and fall out of their Super Bowl window? They don't have an answer at quarterback.
Right.
And right now, they can address that situation and let Ty Simpson develop under Matthew Stafford.
They could let Stetson Bennett develop under Matthew Stafford.
Come on.
Like, you feel me?
They could, but they don't know. Obviously, they don't feel like Stetson Bennett is the guy going forward. They think that Ty Simpson is their guy. I don't agree with that. I thought Ty Simpson was a second-round pick. I didn't love him in the first round. I'm just giving you insight, and I'm sure you know this, as to why I think the Rams moved or made this decision drafting Ty Simpson 13th overall. Because if you have this roster, if you have a lot of great players, if you have Puka Nacua, if you have Adams, if you have the guys on defense with Young and Verse and all these pieces in place, if Matthew Stafford leaves in 2 years and you haven't already addressed the quarterback position, they're going to fall out of that Super Bowl window. So they want to get ahead of the curve because they have the luxury of having a talented roster.
But I just don't understand. I totally understand what you're saying. The part I don't understand is the guy they picked to take over. If he do, you take him out, we insert Ty Simpson. Like I got 10 other quarterbacks I can insert for Ty Simpson.
I hear you.
Like,
The reason
I could name them off.
The reason I think they did that, though, is I don't know if they expect to be in the top end of the draft in the future. And you said it yourself. They don't have a lot of opportunities to draft in the first round. Traded a lot of picks. They do a great job of drafting in the mid to late rounds.
Right.
But who knows if they're going to have an opportunity, even with this quarterback-heavy class next year or the next 2 years, to draft a guy that high that they really like. So, yes, was this a big risk on their end? Sure, but they probably felt that they were in a position to do so because of the talented roster they have and not knowing if they'll have another opportunity to draft their future quarterback.
When Stafford is gone, if I was a betting man, Skip, I would bet Ty Simpson is still not the starter for the Rams.
And
I would bet he's
and you
still
could
not the starter
absolutely
for
be
the
right,
Rams.
Aqib. I don't disagree with that. I thought he was a second-round pick. I'm just giving a perspective of why I think they did that.
Go, Rashad.
Doctor?
Yeah, because we were talking smack about this before the show started, and you were like shocked by that. So I'm excited to hear your opinion. Are you really pro Ty Simpson? You love what you see?
I just need to know like why you don't like him. Like there's been so many different quarterbacks in the league that hasn't panned out based on hype or not hype. Mm-hmm. And once you give guys a chance, they get to show and prove before they're actually discredited for the position. And I always found that weird because then you got like people consider Tom Brady the greatest of all time. He was what round?
I think that's proven.
Mm-hmm. I'm just saying like what round? What pick?
Sixth.
What like tape?
Yeah.
We talk about tape.
His tape was crazy, though.
Tape is crazy. It wasn't crazy enough to get him in the first round.
Bro, his tape was crazy,
It
though.
wasn't good enough to get him in the first round. It got him where he went, right? And then fucking like Kurt Warner, guys like that, like you're like, people passed on them.
Yep.
So I look at this opportunity for him, the year he played, the way he plays. There's different scenarios of the quarterback position and renditions that people may like or not like. His style of this. It's about getting it done and being in a position to get it done. I think this is the best position for him based on not knowing what would happen with Matthew Stafford. Maybe he does get hurt. Do you want to depend on Bennett or do you want to give this guy who's got some momentum and an upside? I believe in potential, but I also believe in assessing that value and making sure that it becomes production. If you give him an opportunity under McVay, under those guys, he can thrive. Why wouldn't he? Somebody goes down, he got to step up. You're perfect for the position. It's not to say he's not solid. Is he solid?
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's solid, right? Yeah. Guess who else was solid? Kirk Cousins.
Kurt was a dog at Michigan State.
Solid, though.
Kurt was winning games and bowl games and
he was
had
throwing
Michigan
Hail
State.
Marys.
Brock Purdy, solid,
Yeah.
right?
He was a dog.
Brock
That's
Purdy
the 3 year.
solid.
You talking about 3 year starters who was dogs in college.
Brock
That's what you
Purdy
naming.
is solid, though.
But he was a dog at Iowa, winning games.
Iowa State,
Had
yeah.
them boys.
Yeah.
I mean, he had.
Was.
Todd
Yep.
Simpson didn't play good last year enough? He didn't play good enough?
The
I think
big,
he had
so
one.
Ty Simpson looked great early on in the season. The first 8 or so games.
Not
Towards-
really, because they lost the opener.
Right.
Yeah, but
they
okay.
lost to
Well, my
Florida
pushback
State.
on that is I thought he made up for a lot
Okay,
of deficiencies
all
on their offense.
But
They
he
were
had
125th
4 in a
in
row
rushing
that
offense.
were
Their offensive line
Heisman
struggled.
kind of games. I got
he
it.
played really
Yeah.
well for the majority
Yeah.
of the,
And then
part
what
of the first
happened?
half of the season. But then towards the end, yeah, he had a
Not
a
towards,
big
it was the
fall.
last 4 games.
Yes.
It's Auburn, and it's the SEC championship game
Playoff.
against Georgia, and then the playoff
Yep.
game against OU.
And then looked really bad against Indiana.
Well, really
His
bad was
completion percentage dropped.
67
His
yards.
production
Are we not
dropped,
allowed to
everything
look
dropped.
bad?
And
It's the inconsistency, Rashad, to answer your question. And there's the risk factor involved because when you only have 1 year of information on a starting quarterback, you don't know what that jump's going to look like in year 2. So it's a huge risk factor involved.
Yes, definitely. High risk, high reward.
all
For
right.
anybody you can believe in, truly.
Okay. I am right there with you on this one. I said what I said about Ty Simpson. I don't like him. I don't love him. I wouldn't take him in the 2nd or 3rd round because I don't believe in him as an NFL quarterback. I don't think he has enough physique. He doesn't have Baker Mayfield's sort of magic and his charisma and his escapability and his athletic ability. I don't see that. And yet, the moment this pick was made, I thought of you because you have so much respect for Sean McVay. So the second it was made, I thought, what am I missing here? Is Sean McVay seeing something in Ty Simpson that Sean Payton saw in Bo Nix that a lot of people didn't see? And I thought, is this going to be Sean McVay's Bo Nix, right? Because there are a lot of people who didn't like Bo Nix.
Oh, yeah.
Okay? But then, to your point, and we just showed it, then I watched their post game. and then I see the video of Sean taking the phone call from Ty Simpson and talking to, I don't know if you guys have seen this, on the phone.
Yeah. Yeah.
And as you well know, because you know him, Sean McVay's, he leads the league in enthusiasm, right?
He does.
I mean, he runs up and down the sideline
If
for
he likes
touchdown.
something, you gonna know he like it.
Yes, he's going to jump through your TV screen. He's going to be kid with a new toy. We did it.
Yeah.
We got the kid we wanted. I'm so excited to work with him. He was glum. He's sitting back in his seat. He's got hangdog look on his face. And on the phone to poor Ty Simpson says to him, Coach, let's make history. And there's a pause, and Sean says, hey, enjoy this night. You know, hey, enjoy this night with your family.
Relax, my guy.
Yeah, have fun.
This might be the best night of your life.
I don't know if we're gonna go that far, Ty.
Yeah.
Just enjoy.
So this is so weird to me because it smacks of Les Snead, F them picks, just telling Sean, I'm sorry, but I run this draft, and I'm the general manager of this team, and this is my choice, and I love this kid, and I'm going to take this kid. And Ty Simpson did say that at the Rose Bowl, Les Snead met Ty's parents and told them, if he's there at 13, we're going to take him. Okay? So that was a Les Snead special. And yet, when they asked Ty last night, did you have much interaction with the Rams before the draft? He said, no. Very briefly, I talked to 2 of their scouts at my pro day. And that's it. He didn't come to LA. He didn't meet Sean McVay. Wow. And I'm thinking, wait a second. Because Sean McVay is a quarterback whisperer, right? Right. He's really, really good at that. And so Sean was trying to like dredge up a little bit of positivity. And he said, well, I like what Ryan Grubb does at Alabama, the offensive coordinator. And so some of his stuff is like our stuff, so it'll translate quicker. It's easier to try to figure out, can he play in our system? But he was emotionless about it. And in the end, it just feels like it got forced on him. And that's just bad. That's just wrong because, seriously, think of what they have right now. They have the Super Bowl favorite because they have the reigning MVP of the league. And what is Matt Stafford? A lot of people think Matt Stafford has the greatest arm talent ever, beyond Dan Marino or John Elway. what is Bruce Arians? What did he always say when he was coaching the Bucs?
Go out and watch.
I only went out early for one guy. One guy. If we're playing Matt Stafford, I'm going to go watch him warm up because I want to see him spin the freaking football. Right? Okay. That's a beautiful thing. So you're going from Matt Stafford at 6'3", 220 to Ty Simpson, whose arm talent is average at best. Right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Solid. I'll give it solid. It's not elite. It doesn't jump off the tape, but it's
it's just average at best. So the drop off from Matthew Stafford to Ty Simpson is the Grand Canyon drop off, right? It's not what Sean McVay would say. Yeah, I want that.
Right.
Right? I don't see it. And then to your point about Stetson Bennett, yeah, he's 5'11", 195 pounds. But think about this. What do you love the most? You love chips, right? What does Stetson Bennett have? He won back-to-back national championships, and he was the offensive MVP of back-to-back national championship games, throwing for about 300 yards, threw 6 touchdowns to 0 interceptions in the back-to-back national championship games. You don't think he can play at a high level with limitations? Is it possible Stetson Bennett is better than Ty Simpson? Because I think it is. So
I think it is too.
Yeah, what's the first words out of Sean's mouth last night? He said he will compete with Stetson for the back.
Got to compete for that too.
What's wrong with that? What's wrong with having a great core quarterbacks under your?
We don't need 3 quarterbacks in the league.
Why not?
Because it's like having 3 point guards in basketball.
But if you don't think
we
he's
just
this
don't need all of
good,
them.
if you don't think he's this good, he wouldn't matter, would he?
Well, that's the thing is I think,
wait a second. By the way, Jimmy G has talked about retirement, but he ain't retired yet.
Yeah.
Right.
Okay.
So now, how many you got? 4?
I know. So you do have 4 legit. Like Jimmy G
could spin too.
Yeah.
Would you consider him an asset?
Jimmy G?
Who?
No, Ty Simpson.
Oh, no.
I would consider him a waste.
Really?
Yes.
What did he
we're gonna
do?
get to
What
the
did he
first
do to
pick,
you?
But I'm gonna tell you, my worst day of the draft, I'm giving it to the Rams. I know we're gonna get there if we get there. I hope we get there.
So you don't see him as an asset, even a tradable asset down the line?
No.
Next season? Why not?
Because what is he?
And
what
they
does
could
he
have gotten
do?
a tradable
Like, all right,
asset.
Stetson got the winning going on for him.
Team.
Like Fernando got the quarterback shit going on for him. Like,
coach.
Can he run? Is his legs like what do I love about him?
System, coach. He's playing. Everyone has excuses and advantages for every player in every situation. If you line them up and let them be who they are, you never know who's going to be who's going to
Like
show.
if you're the quarterback for the Alabama Crimson Tide, if you him, that ain't enough talent for you?
After you just dismantled the whole Crimson Tide legacy by what's the name stepping down, like that's not the same Alabama.
Man,
that ain't the same coaching. It ain't the same
their
nothing.
offensive line was bad. Their receivers.
They got a first round pick.
He was
They finna have another. They receivers. They finna have an early second
but I'm
round
just telling
pick.
you, based off of film and production, they had the 125th rushing offense in the college last year. They were bottom of college in drops at wide receiver, and their offensive line struggled last year, and they also had a lot of injuries. So he had to make up for a lot of those issues that they had. If you put him on one of the other Alabama teams that have been great, I think we would have seen a lot more production from him. Not to say he's better than other Alabama quarterbacks.
See, that's what I feel like. I feel like your quarterback, he make you better in all those categories. Your quarterback make you better at running the ball because, all right, if y'all gonna load the ball, we can't run the ball. I mean, let me air this shit out.
They still went to the
back
playoffs.
up. I'm gonna open up the run.
But how could your quarterback make you better at dropping my passes?
Well, I seen it. I seen a quarterback come to KU and we was bottom and running, and Ty Reesing just said, all right, fuck it, I'm gonna
Yeah.
throw the ball downfield. Now team's playing cover 4 deep. Now we can run up. John Cornish getting 1,000 damn yards at KU. Brandon McAnderson, my dog, he was a fullback turn running back 1,000 yards at KU. Why is we running the ball so good now? Because of Ty Reesing. When we had our other quarterback in there, we couldn't run the ball. But all of a sudden, we are a great running team because the quarterback control all that shit.
So what was they ranked in passes dropped?
I think they were 136 teams. I think they were around the bottom. They were.
If I'm throwing you the ball and you missing the catches, is that not the same shit? You just went hype about? You just went hype about?
Shit.
So the quarterback is the one that's supposed to catch the ball too?
Hey,
Throw it to himself?
if you count them 20-something drops, he threw thousands of passes.
He had 28 touchdowns, 5 interceptions.
And he was 500 in every game that was a meaningful game.
11
he lost
4.
half of them.
The team was 11-4.
I just don't see it.
Revamped you talking about this is not even the same recruiting Alabama that can go get the best.
But wait a second. In the biggest 4 games of the year down the stretch, he throws for 157 yards a game and completes 57% of his passes.
Game.
Okay,
had a bad
4 in a
game.
row.
Yeah.
4 in a row.
Yeah, you can have a slid, you can have a slump, you can just not be on the same accord with the team.
Or you
but
could
your
just not be him.
Or your talent can actually be hidden behind the things and the circumstances of the team. We've seen this before where guys can emerge based on being in a good situation with a good coach, good offensive coordinator, guys that can actually run the ball, open up the game.
We have, but I don't know if I'm spending my 13th pick on a question mark like that.
But you're not going to go.
I do agree.
Are you going to go out of this world for this pick when you don't need it?
You do need it.
This is an asset pick.
Shit, we just got spanked twice by Seattle. I need somebody to get me over the hump.
Nah, man,
Like
you just
somebody who
need
gonna
to.
catch
the-
You just raved about Matthew Stafford. Let him get you over the hump.
He did.
He
That's why
has
we
that
lost
young.
in the
Get a punt
has.
returner.
you mean?
We got a Super Bowl with him. We just lost in the
Talking
NFC
about
chip
after
with him.
that, yeah.
That's
Just let him step it up. You don't need to go find something.
I could lose in the NFC chip every year and have one chip, and I'm still gonna be happy-go-lucky.
Yeah.
I am okay with that. I'm over the hump.
If I was a Rams fan, I'd be upset because you're in the win now window.
Yeah.
So
Well-
you're thinking about building the future with this guy. No, I'm trying to win a Super Bowl this year.
Remember,
right
they
now.
are.
Why
the
did you get rid of
betting
Cooper
The
Kupp?
thing is, though, like with the Rams, that's why
Cooper Kupp was really dropped off.
He was hurt. That's why.
That's
did you
why
get rid- he
argument
just
comes
wanna-
into play.
But he was just so hurt. He was so banged up.
He didn't look hurt last year.
He was hurt last year.
Yeah.
He was
He
hurt
didn't look,
Last
he
year, I
didn't
think
look
he
hurt
had-
when he was out there playing. He
Last
didn't
year
look
he had
hurt.
500 yards, I think.
And he was hurt. He was banged up all year.
You got to realize the team we're talking about, too, the Rams, they've had, since Sean McVay's taken over 9 years ago, they've had 8 winning seasons in the last 9 years. They've been to the playoffs 7 times, and they've done it with Jared Goff, and they've done it with Matthew Stafford. So I think they believe more in the way that they build a roster and Sean McVay,
Right.
so that they can get a quarterback like Ty Simpson, who may not jump off the tape and might not be worthy of the 13th overall pick, and they can still use him to get to where they need to be and win games with him if he's developed the right way. I think that's their mindset.
Yeah, but why would you feel
going
like
into this,
that when
because
they
we have McVay?
They
we
never
have
done
Steve-
that though. They got the number 1 overall pick who they didn't draft.
Yeah, they
they
didn't.
inherited the number 1 overall pick, and that ain't just a guy. This was the number 1 overall pick. He was fucking balling in college. That's why he was the number 1 overall pick. And then they traded for a future Hall of Famer. So I can't say that they feel like that because they never done that. They've never done that before.
I'm just saying, I think they believe in what they've established in Los Angeles.
Of course
so that
they
they
do.
think they can make him the heir to Matthew Stafford and take over whenever he leaves. I will say, last thing though, Skip, to your point, I know a lot of people are talking about Sean McVay and his attitude in the press conference post-draft. I do think there was a little bit of respect involved. I don't think he's going to get up there because him and Matthew Stafford are very close. I don't think he's going to get up there and say, hell yeah, we just drafted his replacement. This is the guy. We love him. That was coach speak. I'm going to get up there and say, hey, he's got to come in. He's going to compete. He's going to work his ass off. And when it's his time, he can have a chance to take over. But this is Matthew Stafford's football team. And he called Matthew and said, we're drafting Ty Simpson for whenever you're ready to be done. This isn't your replacement. This is for when you're done. Whenever that time comes, then he can compete for the starting job. So I do think there was a respect factor involved. He didn't want to just get up there and hoorah and make,
You surprised Sean didn't meet with Ty Simpson before
Now
the draft?
that I don't like. I don't like because if you have a guy like Sean
don't give a
McVay,
damn.
who is the best offensive mind in football right now, you would think they would bring him to the facility. They would have multiple meetings with him. They would run him through the offense. At the Combine, I met with the Saints.
Yeah.
Put me through their playbook, draw everything up on the board. I met with multiple teams. I went to Cleveland, got their playbook, drew everything up. They wanted to know how I thought, how I processed, how I did things as a quarterback. That does surprise me that Sean McVay didn't meet with them, at least.
Go to their pro day.
Yeah.
You want to keep it under the radar so that you don't tip people off. But who's going to take him ahead?
I do
We're going
agree.
to take him before 13.
Yeah,
I don't think
come on.
the people were chomping at the bit for that.
Yeah, and we're going to get to this, but I'm going to say it again. I know you don't love Mekhi Lemon, but he's sitting right there at 13,
Yeah.
and most people thought he was going to be a Ram because he's a flat-out baller. And remember, Devontae is going on 34. He's played 12 years.
Yeah.
He's had various knee issues. You just need some new juice there. And I don't know if Puka's going to get suspended or not. I don't know what's going to happen, but he's had his issues off the field. You needed it was on a silver platter for you at 13.
It was a couple guys on the
I think
I
you could
agree.
have traded
I agree.
back to, gotten Casey Concepcion. They need help on special teams,
Right.
and then you could have gotten more picks later. There's just so much you could have done
So much.
that you didn't do.
Yeah.
But speaking of that, let's get into the receivers,
Yeah.
okay? Let's look at which receivers we're taking off the board first, because we've been talking about this a lot, so I'm going to go through it. We have Carnell Tate went at 4, which I was shocked. That was very high. Then Jordan Tyson went at 8 to the Saints. Makai Lemon to the Eagles, which was wild. Traded up for that. Then the Browns took KC Concepcion. And then the Jets traded the Niners and got Omar Cooper Jr. So I do want to pull up a clip because this was wild. We have Makai Lemon. He's on the phone with Pittsburgh, right? He's thinking he's going there. He's ready to go. Then all of a sudden, let's just show the clip because this is so fun to watch.
Nope.
Come on, man.
Nope.
Let's go. Let's go. Hey, why Philly cold? Yeah. Oh, Philly just traded for you. Hello? This is Philly. They just traded for you. Philly's taking you right now.
He's so confused. The
That's
guys
dope.
are yelling at him. Philly's taking
That's
you.
cool.
That's dope, though.
So, Skip, do you agree or disagree with the order of receivers that went?
Obviously, I vehemently disagree. And I'm going to start with the first one. An even bigger shock to me than Ty Simpson was Carnell Tate going that high to that team at that moment. I'm on record. I know you guys pretty much disagreed. I'm not sure you completely disagreed, but I never saw special in Carnell Tate. And he's playing opposite a superstar, a future NFL superstar receiver who caught 82 balls this past season and he caught 51. And he plays outside the numbers. He'll beat you deep occasionally. He'll beat you the boundary. Mm-hmm. But he didn't work the middle of the field. He's not special fast. He's not special quick. He's not special separation. He's just a good number 2 receiver to a great number 1 receiver. And you can't spend the 4th overall pick on Carnell Tate. It's just mind-boggling to me because I feel like he was a mock draft wonder where everybody kept mocking him higher and higher and higher, and they finally said, well, we wanted Jeremiyah Love. That's how it smacked to me because they weren't sure that Arizona was going to take Jeremiyah Love, and they got caught flat-footed and said, well, I don't know, let's go Carnell Tate. You know, again, I really like your guy. I like Jordan Tyson a lot. I just like Makai Lemon more. And if they'd taken Jordan Tyson at 4, I could live with that. But I can't live with Carnell Tate because I saw some special in Jordan Tyson. I just don't like the injury history, and we're about to find out. Here we go. As my old partner Shannon Sharp used to tell me, you limp in, you limp out. You know, you limp into a season, you limp out of it. And if he's got any lingering injury issues, it's just going to be an ongoing problem, and people are going to say, told you so, told you so, told you so. And yet, the steal of the night, the biggest shock of the night to me was that Howie Roseman, the best GM in pro football, who didn't even play high school football, figure that, go figure, that Howie Roseman bamboozled Jerry Jones out of a pick at 20 so that he could take a falling Makai Lemon because the Rams didn't take him at 13. And I think people were so shocked by that they had their eyes on people down the line, 14, 15, 16, 17. And all of a sudden, as Howie said after the draft, I just said, wait a second, he's falling? I got to figure out a way to go get him. And I loved what Sirianni said after the draft of Makai Lemon. He said his ability to separate, his insane ability to catch the ball in contested situations, he's insanely competitive, and I love his toughness. And that pretty much sums up what 100%. You and I have talked about. He's just a baller. You could see him last night, what he said, I'm a dog. Well, he's a dog. And I know Aqib doesn't love his talent level and his size. Like, you don't think there's anything special there. He just special getting open. And it's been a long time since I saw a receiver attack a defense the way he attacks the defense and the football. And here's the bottom line for Philadelphia. Last year, on throws between the numbers in their offense, they were 34%. That was bottom of the barrel in the NFL. Dead last. 34% of their passes went between the numbers because, as we know, Jalen Hurts does not love throwing it over the middle because he's a coach's son and he wants to be clean with the football, and he wants to make the safer throw, and he's not going to throw into tight windows. Mekhi Lemon is like a human tight window, right? You just, on 3rd and 5, you just say, I'm going to throw it in his direction because he's just going to go get it. He'll take it away from 2 if he has to take it away from 2. And for them, with Sean Mannion wanting to throw the ball in the middle of the football field, you couldn't find a better new receiver, a better new security blanket for Jalen Hurts that he will quickly trust than Mekhi Lemon.
Agreed.
That it will change life in that offense because Mekhi will work the middle of the field because he is flat out fearless. All I know is he will be a better productive receiver. He will produce more. He will be more valuable in the long term than Jordan Tyson will be.
Maybe because of the situation he fell into, but I'll get to that. But I think the order is perfect. I think it's exactly what I thought it would be. Because, I mean, you say they reach at 4 for Tate, but shit, he is an old State guy. He is a great route runner, great hands, great size. It's a super safe pick. And you look at the history of these old State receivers, like, how can you not? Did we see the best receiver in the league when JSN came out? No, because he limped in like Shay say, right?
Yeah.
He limped in. He ain't limping right now, though. He fucking running all over everybody.
Yep.
He played 3 games his last year and limped right on into the best receiver in the league.
Okay, do you think Carnell Tate will be better than
I don't
JSN?
know. That's what I'm saying. I didn't think JSN would be the best receiver in the league. I didn't think Ibuka would be a runner-up for rookie of the year.
Yep.
I just didn't really see that. At O State, you always got a guy who's on the other side. That's the beauty of O State. So you never really can see the best of these. We probably ain't seen the best of Jeremiah Smith because he had Tate on the other side. We had to throw him the ball 65 times or whatever. We probably could have threw you 20 more balls if we wanted to and let you really go crazy. So that's just the beauty of O State. We don't know what we going to get because they so stacked. You know what I'm saying? So we don't know. Tate might come in and be the JSN. Like, I was just a hidden gem because I had him. I ain't get to show y'all all this because, we ain't expect that from JSN.
Yeah,
So
what do your
you take him
instincts
first?
tell you? What do they tell you? I think
What
you
his
would have
instincts
taken
tell me?
Jordan Tyson ahead of Tate.
Oh, I'm taking Jordan Tyson for
Yeah,
sure,
okay.
for sure.
Well, there
first.
you go.
That's what I mean, but it's a safe pick. You got Jordan Tyson. He goes second because you got the significant injury history.
Thank you.
I mean, if hey, look like a duck, it's probably a duck. You know what I'm saying? You feel me? So if you always getting hurt, some teams gonna look at it like that, like shit, he might get. That's just gonna come with it. Now, if it was me, I would have took him at 4. I would have put him with Cam Ward. And
I
I
understand.
probably would have been in the playoffs.
Okay, and I don't hate New Orleans because they got Olave and nothing, right?
Exactly.
So you say, okay, good.
Yes.
Okay, I got it.
And then Lemon, I feel like he was the 3rd receiver. He went 3rd. Concepcion was the 4th receiver. I think it was perfect. Now, to your point, Lemon might have the best rookie year. He might have the best season out of all of them because the position that he landed in is the Titans. They still young. They still building the team. Ward's still young. They got a lot of work to do. It's gonna be hard to come out and just ball there.
Yeah. I don't know. Jordan Tyson's a pretty good spot.
I mean, but even them, you got Kellen Moore. Kellen Moore know how to he know how to make a receiver go crazy.
Tyler
But
Shuck
still,
was really
he's
good
got a
last
big
year,
arm.
second half of
but
the
Shuck,
season.
how you say his name?
Tyler Shuck.
Shuck. But Shuck, he's still a young guy.
Yeah.
That's still a team that's still rebuilding.
He did start
They
the
just
ball.
not all the way there yet. If you put a good receiver with a veteran team like the Eagles, Sean McVay system coming in, hopefully Sean Mannion come in and run that Sean McVay / LaFleur type
should.
system.
He
You
should.
know what I'm saying? If he come in and run that system, you get born into that system with a veteran team, with a Super Bowl winning quarterback, a top 5 running back in your backfield, a top O-line, a top defense. Like, if you get born into that situation, you kind of set up. That's like a nice little oop. You know what I'm saying? In your basketball term, you know how we do. Off the glass, you kind of throwing my man a oop so he can go crazy. So I wouldn't be surprised if he did come out with the best numbers. But I know if you switched him and you put Tyson in with Philly, come on now. Tyson will go way crazier than Lemon. Whatever Lemon do in Philly, Tyson will go way crazier in Philly. I'm telling you, man. I'm telling you.
They're two different
He probably
receivers.
not even going to start.
They're 2 different receivers.
Lemon
Two
probably
different
not going to
needs.
start. Lemon going to have to work his way and rotate at the number 2.
know.
If Tyson get there, it's going to be Tyson and Devontae Smith easy. As soon as AJ is gone. It'll be Tyson and Devontae Smith easy.
What's stopping that from still being Lemon and Devontae?
You'll see.
What's stopping?
We gonna be on this couch all year, and you will see.
Is there another receiver that's going to step in?
They just picked up.
They got 3-4 of them. They
Yeah.
rotated.
They got
He got to
Hollywood
beat out.
They got Hollywood.
Yeah.
They got 3-4 of them.
That are better than Lemon?
Tyson to go there and beat all them boys out easy.
It's the same scheme, but the difference between LaFleur and McVay is McVay runs a lot more 12 personnel, which is 2 wide receivers, or even 13 personnel.
Yep.
LaFleur ran a lot of 11 personnel, which is 3 wide receivers. So I think Mekhi, that's what Sean Mannion, I would anticipate, would do with the Eagles with all the weapons they have. So I think we'll see him a lot more on the field, even if he is that third guy starting out.
Well, when they is in 12 personnel, I think it'll be Devontae and Hollywood, or I don't think it's going to be Lemon. When they go 12, I don't think that's how you know who your top 2 receivers are. We go 12 personnel, who out there?
Who's
who at
the
the X and who at the Z?
Yeah, I agree.
You know what
By
I'm saying?
game 5, he's that.
Okay, so
but it'd be if Tyson went there, it'd be game 1.
Okay.
It would be it would be Tyson.
Well, wait a second. You're saying Mekhi Lemon will not start game 1, right?
He won't be if they come out game 1 and go 12 personnel on the first play of the season, it won't be Devontae Smith and Lemon. Nope, it won't be.
It will be. Just watch.
Do we get another bet?
Hey,
No.
it could be Devontae.
Jim
It
said
could
no.
be Devontae Smith and AJ Brown.
It could
still.
be. It could be. I doubt it.
Until I see the ticker that says AJ Brown traded to
But
wherever.
what's that date
I
on
think
June?
still
Whatever.
could.
What is it? June
1st.
4th? June 1st?
June 1st.
You'll see that on the ticker.
Yeah.
But I like the order though. Overall, I like the order.
Yeah.
It's exactly how I would have mapped it out.
How you feeling over here, Resident Eagle?
I mean, Eagles do what the Eagles do. We steal the show, shine the light, and bring them home. I think, as Cody was talking even last week about Lemon and what he brings to the table as far as just being a polished, well-polished receiver that can do a multitude of things. And when you look at the Eagles and what their needs are, they need a reliable underneath threat, and I think that's what he is. He can Wes Welker for the Patriots.
Yeah, shifty slot guy.
Get him in those type of positions where he doesn't have the pressure on him as much to be a number 2 or number 1, but you're very useful in every single possession, I believe. I think that's the type of player he is. And the Eagles, like I said, we're trying to make it back to the promised land. So in order for that to happen, we need reliable pieces. And I think with A.J. Brown up in the air, you want to go draft somebody you can rely on. And I think that's what creates the value in the draft. A lot of people go out, they acquire talent, but they don't really assess the value of that talent. And then you try to invest in that production, but you don't really have the production. And I think he has the track record for production that they need, and it was perfect for them.
So, quick point about Wes Welker. He could not get deep on you. He did get deep in one Super Bowl, the second Eli Super Bowl, and he didn't hang on. Right? Or we might be having a different Brady conversation because they should have won that one too. But Mekhi Lemon can run by people and does run by people and does track the football.
And he can do it on the outside, Skip.
Yeah,
It's not just a slot
He's
guy.
an X.
He can play outside.
Play out of the X. Yeah. You're just scoffing at him.
Bro, not gonna play no X, man.
Yes, he is.
Bro, he did.
He
did like about half the
Pastor
time.
Tan would dominate that matchup if he came out there. And this the X right here, it just ain't. You gotta start the play at the X. You gotta be great at starting the play. He just show me on the tape, bro. You got the little iPad right there and shit. Show me the releases.
I'll show you all the. I watched every game of his the last 2 years, and he did it against everyone in the Big Ten. It didn't matter who was on him. He was winning consistently. You don't win the Blitnikoff Award if you're not producing week in and week out against top talent.
But you could win the Blitnikoff Award being in motion as the Z guy or a slot guy. It's just a different beast out there when you the X.
After the Iowa game, remember? 10 for 153 against Kurt Ferentz.
Yeah, I'll show you some outside catches in that game too.
Yeah. Hey, and Kurt Ferentz said after the game, best receiver I've seen in the last 20 years. That's what he said. That's a quote from a long-time, highly respected college football coach. Okay?
Well, we'll
And
be
it was
here.
rain in that game. It was bad conditions.
We'll be on this couch all year, man. We'll be on this couch all year. So, hey.
We will be.
But to your point, I think you made a great point. I think Mekhi Lemon won't have to worry about Patrick Surtain on him right now because he has other weapons, or the Eagles have other weapons on offense. So he can kind of ease into everything, build that confidence, so then he's ready to go up against those guys.
Because they got an X receiver out there.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. He has the luxury of developing and not getting thrown into the fire right away of being their real number 1.
I want to see Surtain on him. I do, because after about 3 quarters, Surtain's going to be saying, damn, he just won't stop, because it's all energy. It's 1,000 miles an hour, different directions. And you're like, wait a second. I thought I had him, and he's not there anymore.
But you know what is going to help him? Going up against Quinyon Mitchell at practice, going up against Cooper DeJean at practice, going up against that defense at practice. So when you play these other top-tier corners, you're going to be ready to go. So, I like Lemon. But that wasn't the order I had. I thought it should have went Carnell Tate, Mekhi Lemon, then Jordan Tyson. Those were the order I had. But I actually like these picks. I really do. I think everybody ended up in a great situation. Carnell Tate going to the Titans. I know a lot of people argue that was too high. But when you invest the first overall pick in a quarterback the year before, you got to invest in the weapons around him, specifically at wide receiver, so he has people to throw to. And they're starting to do that in Tennessee. Alec Eilmanor, who I really like, was Ward's top target last year.
Stanford, he had some big.
They went and got, I watched him a lot at Stanford. Good player. They got Wan'Dale Robinson, who was a 1,000-yard receiver last year in New York. But then now they go get a Carnell Tate, so they have 3 guys when they run those 3 wide personnel groupings. So Cam Ward has different places to go with football.
Still there,
Calvin Ridley.
Ridley had an off year last year, but he still has a ton of potential. So love that move by the Titans. I really do. I think Carnell Tate's going to fit in great too in Dayball's offense. I think they're going to find ways to get him involved early in that offense as well. I actually really like Jordan Tyson going number 8 to the Saints because of the reasons that you said. I think he's going to be a great fit in Kellen Moore's system. He's a tall, speedy receiver that can take the top off of the defense, but he's also quick and shifty enough to where you can put him in the slot at 6'2", and he can win on those underneath routes. And then the person that really loves that move, I think that's going to benefit from this, is Chris Olave, because he gets all of the attention. 3 of the last 4 years, he's been their leading receiver. The year that he wasn't 2, he only played 8 games because of injury. So when defenses game plan for the Saints, in the pass game, we got to find Olave. We got to shut him down. Now both of these guys with Tyson are going to get more one-on-one opportunities. But I agree. I think one of the steals of the night was Howie Roseman trading up and going and get Mekhi Lemon. For everything that you said, Skip, I think he is the best when it comes to contested catches in this draft class. I think he's a great route runner. He can win against man press. He can win against man off. He can win against zone. He knows where to sit in the windows. And now you pair him up with Sean Mannion, who I know we haven't seen him as a play caller yet, but I would anticipate it would be heavily influenced by the Sean McVay, LaFleur scheme, Kyle Shanahan. I think Lemon would be a great fit in that offense, and a lot of their concepts are similar to what Lincoln Riley ran at USC, so it could be an easy transition for him. So, I don't have that order when it came to ranking these guys, but where they ended up, I'm actually really okay with. I like those moves.
Well, let's dive into the Cowboys, because we got to talk about Skip's Cowboys. I was really excited. I'm watching the draft. I'm like, they actually made some moves. They only traded up 1 spot, obviously, but Caleb Downs was available. I'm like, this is such a get at 11. I'm so excited. Then I go to your social media, Skip, and realize, I was so happy for Skip. Realize you got some mixed opinions. So I'm excited to dive into that, though. But I also want to show, who's not happy with the Cowboys right now is that's Malik Neighbors. Let's watch him, because he's really upset with Caleb Downs being on, having to play him twice a year.
Interesting.
Bro. Carefully. He looked like me on draft day last year.
He does.
Hey, I'm glad about that division, bro.
I'd rather get him than play against him.
Oh, my God.
And the fact that it's like the very next pick. Like you guys were up on the clock. And
I even told him, I said, I'm coming to get you.
Hey, bro, you know what?
Caleb Downs pick, how does this make you feel that he's going to be on the Cowboys?
I got to play against this thing again.
You call him a thing. He's so good, he's a thing.
Bro, he's good. But he's very good. He's very good. He's very good. We all got him number 1. He's very good.
He said very good, I think, 4 times. He's like, I do not want to play against this guy. So you guys also
Did he play against him?
Caleb Downs was at Alabama.
Yeah, for the year.
Before he went to Ohio State,
Okay.
Okay, so the Cowboys also traded back with their rival Eagles to move from 20 to 23, and you selected edge rusher Malachi Lawrence. So this is actually a really interesting take from, this is from Underdog, okay? So for season-long sack totals, Lawrence actually has the same total as number 5 overall, Arvell Reese. So, Skip, rate the Cowboys draft. I like what you did.
Look, I'm trying to be optimistic about this, but I cannot tell a lie, so I'm just going to spill for you guys. I'll give this draft a B- because I like both the picks, but I don't love either one. And this is a lot about you, Aqib Talib. So if you're rebuilding a defense, what are the two most important positions? Pass rusher number one, cornerback number two. So I sat here on Monday and I said I would be very happy if Jerry Jones stayed put at 12 and 20 and took Reuben Bain at 12 and Akeem Messidor at 20. I'll take both those pass rushers because they're bookend studs, and I saw them do it at the highest level through the playoffs of college football. And Bain just kept on keeping on and had he dominated the postseason to me. So I saw him do it at the championship level. And I had to sit there and watch Jerry Jones leave Reuben Bain for the Bucs. And that was one of the best picks of the night to me because he is going to be a great Buck and he's going to revitalize that defense that needs him badly quickly. And then I had to sit there and watch Jerry trade out of 20 and trade back to 23 and leave Messidor for the Los Angeles Chargers at 22. So I lost both of them, which brings me to Caleb Downs. I think he's a very good player, but I don't see greatness in him. And I'm just telling you, I watch these games a lot. I watched your team a lot at the highest level against the best teams. Not one time did I ever sit back and say, whoa, that was a play by Caleb Downs, because he's not a corner, even though he can play some nickel for them, and I think he will. But there's no Aqib Talib in Caleb Downs. There's no ball hawk in him. There's no ball dislodger. There's no fumble forcer. There's no interceptor in Caleb Downs. There is superior technician. There's coach on the field. There's always in the right place at the right time. There's never makes a mistake, but doesn't make many plays, okay? Perfect football player, except not my cup of Gatorade, because I want that guy. I want whatever that thing is that God gives you, that it's the instinct, it's the ability to anticipate and see ball, get ball. And I didn't see it in Caleb Downs, who had 2 picks at Alabama the first year, and then he had 2 his first year at Ohio State, and then he had 2 last year at Ohio State. He forced 3 fumbles in 3 years, playing high-level football. And everybody loves him, and he was the king of the mock drafts. Oh, he could be the best player in the draft. And I'm saying, show me something. If you're going to be an undersized safety, because he's undersized, he's 5'11-ish, 206, okay? 5'11 and a half. He's under 6 feet and 206. If you're going to be that size, you got to show me Ed Reed. He had 64 interceptions and ran 7 back for touchdowns. Do you see any Ed Reed in Caleb Downs? Because I see 0. I see no Aqib in Caleb Downs. I don't see any. Remember Legion of Boom, Earl Thomas? He's all over the field and had 35 interceptions for his career because he's sideline to sideline. It's just every time I looked up, he's getting his hands on the football and covering for Richard Sherman or covering for Cam or for anybody. He's the roving center fielder. I didn't see that because Caleb Downs is an extremely efficient tackler. He does not miss tackles, and he plays more box safety to me. He's just playing up. He wants to come to the line of scrimmage.
And that's why he didn't have as many interceptions.
Okay, I got
the way they play him.
Okay, but did I see fierce hitter? Because if you want to talk fierce hitter, I covered Darren Woodson, and I know him really well, and he should be in the Hall of Fame. And he was as fierce a hitter. He was a ball dislodger. He was a fumble forcer, but he was 220 pounds. Give me Kyle Hamilton for the Ravens because he's 6'4", 220, 225, and he controls football games because every time I look up, I see 14. He's here and he's there and he's getting his hands on the ball and he's making the play and the tackle. I didn't see that from Caleb Downs. And the two best guys on the draft over years of me following the draft are Dane Brugler and Lance Zierlein. And here's what they said about Caleb Downs to finish this off. Okay, this is Lance Zierlein on NFL.com. Focuses too much on the receiver instead of locating the ball. That's the essence of what I don't like about Caleb Downs. He covers and he doesn't find the football. And I see that a lot in kids who can really cover, but they don't look up and find the football the way you found the football. And then Dane Brugler, the athletic, the beast. He says, blah, 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 great. Although you wish there was more ball production on his resume. Well, that's it. I don't see ball production on his resume. And then there was a report the last couple of days that he has a degenerative knee condition that he is scoffed at, but it's out there and it scared me because I don't know. I'm not sure that a safety can change your life unless you're Ed Reed or Earl Thomas or Darren Woodson. And I'm not sure. I just think he's as solid as you can get, but not special solid, if that makes sense. And then Malachi Lawrence, Messidor's better. I just think he's better because Malachi, didn't play against the highest level left tackles. And I think his highlights sort of transcend his production in college. Like if you look at his highlight tape, you say, wow, because he's 1,000 miles an hour, high energy, high motor. I got it. But Messidor is better. And I've said this, and Gerald McCoy agreed with me the other day. R. Mason Thomas out of the University of Oklahoma is a better edge rusher than Malachi Lawrence is. I'll just stake my reputation on that, and we'll see what happens. And watch R. Mason go real quick in the second round. He'll go in the first 6 or 8 picks. Okay? So I like both of them, and I'm not just devastated by this. I just don't. You need position special. You need pass rusher. You need cornerback. And Kansas City went up and got your cornerback. And I love that because that's correct. If you're going to go up and spend, go get that guy. And if we come away with Delane, I say, okay, I got something I can build with because it's a more important position than safety is to me. But in the end, I don't think Caleb Downs is special.
I think he's very special. I think he is the best defensive player in the draft special. It's
better than David Bailey.
I mean, yeah, it's a toss-up between them. Yeah. You could argue David Bailey, but to me, he is the general on the best defense in the league, Ohio State. He is the player on that defense. He don't want to get everybody lined up. If you see Reese make a tackle, just look behind.
I got it.
Just look right behind him. You're going to see him on every play. He's right there. If he would have missed it, I would have been right here.
Okay.
He got that football savvy. He diagnosed plays, and he's, like you said, he don't make no mistakes.
No mistakes.
He's always in the right spot. Matty P, he a Bill Belichick guy. They called a lot of man coverage. Man coverage is not an interception coverage. It's a pass breakup coverage. The majority, if I had 35 picks in the league, I had 35. I probably got 8 of them in man coverage. I just so happen to play a lot of teams where they let me sit back, look at the ball, and I get the break. Or 2-man where I can afford to look back in man coverage because I got 2 high safeties. I'm undercutting to get the ball. So I just so happen to play on a lot of teams where, I'm a little undisciplined too. I'm going to play man coverage and still look my nuts to the floor, Skip. You know what I'm saying? I ain't scared.
No,
man coverage is typically a hard coverage to get interceptions in. And they play a lot of man. That's what he could cover. They play a lot of man. That's Matty P type situation. So I think it was a great pick. I love Caleb Downs. I think that was the steal of the draft. I didn't think he'd make it to 11. I thought that was the steal of the draft. I love that pick. But then it's the Lawrence, the Malachi Lawrence pick. That is the we gotta wait and see pick for me. I'm not saying he's gonna be a bad football player, but we're gonna have to wait and see because leading up to the draft, me just watching my little bit of college football that I watch, my highlights and following it like I do, I didn't hear about bro. Like, I feel like if you that good, you a first round, I heard about all the rest of the edges. I hear about Bain, Bailey, Massador. I hear about everybody else. I just didn't hear about bro until after the combine. So I guess we had to wait and see. I just feel like that's just a wait and see pick. So I gave him a B because I feel like with 2 first-round picks, you want to get 2 starters. I got to come out of this with 2 starters. They got 1 starter. I think Caleb Downs will come start. I don't know what they're going to do in that back end,
Yeah,
but I guarantee you Thomas or Hooker, somebody not going to be in there. And I honestly think if he would have played the free safety and you let him put him in the post and let him roam, he would have came out with 7 more interceptions in his career.
Because he can do that.
Because he can do that. That's what I'm saying.
On film. He's just too damn good in the box.
He's just so good in the box at lining people up, at calling shit out on that Kuechly shit. I need him down here, bro. He is the general down here.
Yeah.
So why not put him down here and just go crazy? So I know he can play. You put him in the post, he'll go crazy in the post. So I just feel like you should get 2 first-round picks you should get 2 starters if you got 2 first-round picks. You look at every other team who had 2 first-round picks, the Jets, they got 2 starters, 3 starters, really. The Titans got 2 starters. The Dolphins got 2 starters. The Giants got 2 starters. I feel like the Cowboys didn't get 2 starters. So if you ain't get 2 starters, because I don't think Malachi Lawrence going to start. I think Boston College. And
Ezra Owaka.
Yeah, he going to start. And Gary going to start.
Yeah.
Them going to be the starters,
And they got Sam Williams, and they might bring Clowney back, who was pretty good.
That's what I'm saying. So I don't even know how much. If he got to crack the lineup, honestly. So I don't know. I think if you would have got a Anthill Jr., that would have been. I think he would have came in and started
he's
immediately.
your guy. Yeah.
He would have started in.
He'll go quick. He'll
Sean.
go quickly in the second round.
I think so. Yeah. I even think Rodriguez or C.J. Allen. I think any one of them 3 would have came in and started over James or whatever.
Yeah.
He a young guy. They probably older than him, same age as him right now.
They are.
I think they come in and start over him. You get you 2 starters. That would have been an A for me. If they would have got Jeremiah McCoy, you come Downs and McCoy. I think it's a lot of hype about his knee.
You said because Revel came off a knee injury, can you risk taking another one?
But man, I look at Revel movement and body, and then you look at McCoy's. That's a totally different guy.
Totally agree.
That's a totally different guy. McCoy gonna end up being the best cornerback in the draft.
I watched McCoy 2 years ago at Tennessee because they played Vanderbilt, and I'm watching SEC. He is a stud.
And I went back and watched him, and you see his movement and his ball skills. He like me every time. He's looking back for the ball.
That is true.
Just watch. He gonna end up being the best cornerback out of all of them.
He'll go soon in the second round.
And if you would end up with him, I think he would have came in and started.
Yep.
So you end up with 2 starters with your 2 first-round picks. I'm giving you an A. They didn't. I'm giving the Cowboys a B.
Okay.
Here we go. I gave him an A-. Actually, I really like this pick. They addressed.
No, but your base is like A-,
B+.
right? That's like
that?
B plus the lowest
B
you
plus
go.
the lowest,
What's
yeah.
the A- go to, Skip? What's that on a normal grading scale?
That would be a C.
That's like a C for
That's
me.
a C.
C plus.
No, I don't think so, man. I think Malachi Lawrence has a lot more upside than you guys are giving him credit for. But with that being said, I think they addressed 2 positional needs that they needed to address with secondary and pass rusher while keeping both of their first-round picks. That was what was important with all of this. But I agree. I think Caleb Downs is arguably the best pound-for-pound player in this entire draft on the defensive side of the ball. You shake your head, Skip, but if you watch the tape, man, he's all over the field. He has versatility. He can play down in the box where they really like him, but he also has the skill set and the athleticism to play on the back end and work laterally and read the quarterback's eyes and go make a play on the football. You said you didn't see him dislodge the football. I'll show you multiple clips from one game against Miami where he's reading, reacting, and going and putting his helmet on the ball and knocking it out and dislodging the football over and over. There's plenty of times on tape, too, where he's so quick by the way that he diagnoses what the offense is doing that before they can even get started, the play's over.
3 forced fumbles all in one game, right?
We'll go watch them all, Skip.
Okay.
But the other thing, too, that I think is going to be beneficial for him is he's going to get to work with defensive coordinator Christian Parker, who is a DB coach at heart. He was with the Philadelphia Eagles.
Christian Parker was standing on the table.
Oh, he was probably sitting there.
As he should.
He couldn't believe that Caleb Downs had fallen all the way to that position and they had a chance to go draft him. If you're telling me I'm going to be a first-year defensive coordinator and the first player that we pick is Caleb Downs on our defense, I'm taking that every day of the week. So I think that was a great pick by them. If it was just him, it would have been an A even still. But the second pick with Malachi Lawrence, I really like him. I think he has a lot of upside. He's a freak athlete. He's really quick in the 40.
He is
quick.
long, too. He's
he's inexperienced, too. I think he's going to keep getting better and better the more that he develops. And the production's there as well. He had 19 and a half sacks in the last 3 years. So he's still getting pressure on the quarterback. He can beat you with speed. He can beat you with power. I think if he can just clean up some of those pass rush moves, maybe he is a starter or maybe he isn't. Maybe he gets developed behind Gary and some of these other guys to where he can learn. So then when it is his time to take over, he'll be ready to go. But the reason I gave him an A- because of the moves that they made to get these draft picks. Because when they moved up from 12 to 11, they had to give up 2 fifth-round picks. Well worth of Caleb Downs. Get rid of those 2 fifth-round picks. But then when they moved back from 20 to 23, they added 2 fourth-round picks from the Eagles.
Yeah.
So now they still have 7 draft picks in this draft, and 5 of them are in rounds 2 to 4. So they can still potentially add 2, maybe 3 day one starters with these next 5 picks. And I said this on Monday. The Cowboys have a lot of power in this draft because of the capital, especially in the first round. It's just going to come down to if Jerry Jones and Stephen Jones can capitalize on this opportunity. And in my opinion, Skip, I think they did. So I gave them an A- because of the moves they made.
Okay, real quick point before you go. Trading up one spot for Caleb Downs, I'm not sure you had to do that and spend 2/5 because it's clear once you're starting to negotiate with Miami, would you take, well, clearly they're sitting on Caden Proctor, so they're showing you, they're telling you, we're not going to take Caleb Downs. So are you buying insurance so nobody else will swoop out of the blue?
That's probably what it was.
Okay. They were worried that someone else was going to jump up.
Right.
And maybe
Somebody probably would have. They probably was fielding multiple calls for Caleb.
Yeah.
I guess you could have
But
taken
there's
Ruben
only
Payne
8
or
minutes
Caleb.
on the clock, and as soon as other teams would see Caleb Downs falling, if somebody really, really wanted him as badly as you guys love him, then somebody could have said, we'll give you our 2 for him. You know, we'll come up from whatever, 15, 18, 19. We'll come up to 11, want our second round pick, you know, whatever, because it was 2/5 and Dallas already had 3. So it felt like Jerry was sort of bidding against himself a little bit. Because it was clear Miami was going to take Caden Proctor, or they wouldn't have made the trade. Miami would have taken Caleb Downs, right? They would have just sat still. So it was a weird trade to me.
You're going to have to play this team multiple times a year. How'd you feel about it? What grade do you get him?
C+.
C plus.
Yeah.
But he hates the Cowboys.
Yeah.
Look at the hat he's wearing.
Yeah. No, it's just, to me, the obvious thing that's happening is we're covering for Jerry Jones right now and his generational mistake of getting rid of Micah Parsons and trying to cover for that with these 2 rookies having to fill this space to bring them back to some type of prominence when they're already established as a team that has what it needs and has what it takes to make it there. But now you have to fill these voids with rookies and pretend like you didn't get rid of a generational talent to put you in this position. I think they would have actually drafted differently if they stayed home and believed and not been cheap with Micah and actually just paid him. And he actually did what he did with Green Bay, with the Cowboys starting the season, which you wasn't a fan of.
Okay,
but I thought
remember, we do have Quinnen Williams and Kenny Clark because of that trade. So we're set there. We're stout.
Plus the other.
I just heard a bunch of complaining about the Dallas Cowboy defense, right? So I didn't think that they actually mattered. So
yeah, but remember, the defense was just as bad with Micah. It was.
But they were going to get better because he was going to have a all-time season if he would have stayed. I'm thinking because of the offense matches the production on the defense, which hypes him up even more when you're winning. So to give up on all of that and to see how they drafted, it was safe to get Downs for sure. But to expect them both to come in and make playoff type impact with the Cowboys immediately, I don't think that's going to happen. I think he's a 2-year, 3-year player that'll find his way to dominate. And Lawrence, like you said, you guys are not even really big on him right now. So I just look at it as just like a Band-Aid draft for the Cowboys, just trying to just cover the tracks, try to figure out how to get back to contention and really not waste Dak's window right now, because that's what they're doing. Dak has a window and it's closing, and they're not really making the decisions that's going to build to a championship.
Well, I know you have a skew. We say you have a skew, but the chat is agreeing with Cody.
Hey.
The majority of the chat is giving the Cowboys an A. Does that make you feel any better, or?
It's the majority of Cowboy fans. So, you know,
But
I hope they've
been through the ringer like you, so they're probably honest. You know, they've been through it.
Also, Skip, the defense was not as bad with Micah Parsons there as well. They just had statistically the worst season in Cowboys history. It was not that bad.
Wait a second. We were dead last in rushing yards allowed with Micah the year before.
But it's not on one player.
Dead last.
It's not on one player.
Come on.
All right, let's move on to the Giants then. So the Giants got 2 key players at 2 key positions. They took advantage of Ohio State edge rusher Arvell Reese falling more than expected. They took him at 5. And so Neighbors, we saw, he's been talking it up this whole thing. So this is actually what Neighbor has to say about the Giants getting Reese.
I mean, I love the player. Don't get me wrong. I love the player, but just like he said, like where do you play? Like you wanna be on the outside and rush, but we just drafted somebody last year to do that same position.
2022 with the 5th pick, Kayvon Thibodeau, and then last year with the 3rd pick, Abdul Carter. So it's 3 times in the top 5 in the last 4 years they've gone edge.
The reason why I said Caleb Downs, and I know it's going to be...
There's still a chance they can get him at 10.
And it's still... Yeah, but I'm saying, though, like, you have to get them when they're available. It's not saying that he's going to be there at 10. And because we just traded Dex,
right?
You need interior D-line. I understand getting outside backer, he wants to rush, okay, cool. But I'm saying, though, when you eliminate something from there, you have to put something in the back end to be secure.
So Neighbors is not loving this decision by his team. But at pick 10, he was like thinking maybe they're going to get Downs at pick 10. Obviously, they didn't. They got Jackson Dart some protection by taking Miami tackle Francis Mauigoa. So, Aqib, I want to know what grade you're going to give the Giants for their draft.
Well, they did get 2 starters. Mm-hmm. I think Big Francis a start and Reese their start. So I love that. But I was going to give them an A, but I couldn't give them an A because they passed on the best defensive player in the draft. Just like my guy just said, Neighbors just said it, man. You pass on the best defensive player in the draft, you can't get an A. Yep. So I give them a B, man. I like the draft though. I think they didn't think they was gonna have an opportunity to get Reese.
Yeah, agreed.
He fell to them. They got Reese. Now it's up to the defensive coordinator to, find a good way to use him.
Yeah,
I don't think it's rocket science. He just hit it, man. You good on the edge. You just draft 2 edges in the last 4 years. You traded for a guy who had a bunch of sacks last year. I think you good on the edge, man. You put him inside next to Edmonds and let him cook. You want him to rush? Have a bunch of A-gap type blitzes for him. Mm-hmm. Let him come off the edge on 3rd down. Mm-hmm. And if you can get a good plan for him, I love that pick. And then Big Francis, he could play guard, he could play tackle. You got a guy, Ilumanu or whatever, Jermaine. He started right tackle for you last year. What's his name? Illuminar. He started right tackle for you last year. He was solid. It was okay. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? When they had Dart and they had Scatterboo in the backfield, they ran the ball good. So it was solid. Maybe you come plug him in at guard, keep him right there. That'll work. You know what I'm saying? You upgrading your line. And if you don't, you want him to be your right tackle and you want Jackson Dart to have Big Francis and your big dog on the left side, then you're really good. Your tackles are perfectly fine with those 2. So I like the 2 first-round picks, man. I think you definitely got 2 starters. If you would have got Arvell Reese and Caleb Downs, I think your defense would have really had a stamp on it.
I agree.
And that would have been an A+ draft for me if you would have got those 2 guys. But you didn't. You still got 2 starters. You pass up on the best defensive player in the draft. I'm going to give you a B.
How do you feel getting protection for the quarterback over Caleb Downs?
Yeah, I gave him a B+. I'm with Aqib on that. First, starting with Arvell Reese. I talked about it last week, too. He has 327 snaps as an edge rusher. He has 286 snaps last year as a linebacker in the box. So he can do both. And that versatility is going to be important for them with new defensive coordinator Denard Wilson because now you have Thibodeau, Burns, and Carter. So you can move Arvell Reese around because of his versatility. He doesn't just have to be a guy that's an edge rusher. I think that's important for their scheme. I'm with you, though. The reason I didn't give him an A is because that 10th overall pick, I thought they were going to take Caleb Downs. I initially thought it might have been Jordan Tyson, but once he was gone at 8, then I immediately thought, okay, it's going to be Caleb Downs with that 10th overall pick. They addressed the front 7. Now they're going to address the back end on the defense, and they're going to be solidified on that side of the ball. But as a former quarterback, I don't hate this pick at all going and getting Francis Mauigoa. Right. I think I say it all the time. Investing in your quarterback, Jackson Dart, that you spent a first-round pick on is very important. Going and getting guys to protect him up front that will help him in pass protection but also benefit the run game as well is going to take pressure off of Jackson Dart's shoulders, and he's not going to have to try to do as much, which won't make him have to take off and run, and he can protect himself a little bit more. Took a lot of hits last year, some of them unnecessary, but there were times that he was in the pocket. He had to bail early because the protection wasn't holding up. And the other thing with Francis Mauigoa is he can move around, like Aqib said. You can put him at tackle if you don't think Illuminor is going to be the guy. But right now, I think Andrew Thomas and Illuminor, they've solidified the 2 tackle spots. Maui Noah, because of his size and strength, can move to the inside, play guard, even though he spent the last 3 seasons as a right tackle, play guard on the right side, play guard on the left side. You have some things that you can do up front, which is going to benefit your offense. As much as I would have loved for them to go get a receiver and have someone else for Dart to throw to opposite of Malik Neighbors, I really like this move to go get an offensive lineman, so I gave him a B+.
B+, so that's a D in your eyes.
No. Hey.
C-.
No, B+ is good. I like it.
Go B+.
B+, okay.
Go B+. I think just being able to cover their tracks defensively and protect the quarterback, is important, especially for, losing Lawrence, right? They lost Dexter. So, it's a lot of things you need to cover ground for. And I think they did that. This is a very safe draft for them so far in the first round. And keep building. They need to keep building.
How are you feeling about your division right now?
I don't see nobody, really. It's all us. I mean, we're not really tripping.
You hear that?
Cowboys,
we knew they was going to do what they do.
Cowboys this year.
Cowboys always do what they do.
Commanders, too. They got Sonny Styles now. That division.
And if you ask TJ, the Giants are a dark horse.
Yeah.
It could be.
So, to my point about Caleb Downs, I sat back last night and I watched the New York Football Giants pass on Caleb Downs twice. I watched our other division rival, the Washington Commanders, pass on Caleb Downs in favor of Sonny Styles. So they're saying no, 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 right? 3 no's to Caleb Downs. And that's interesting because you say he's the best defensive player in the draft, so somebody's going to be really wrong here, right? Really, really, really wrong, because these are monumental decisions made at the top of the draft affecting 3 Ohio State players that went in the wrong order according to you, right? Okay, so I'm going to give this an A- because with Arvell Reese, we all voiced the concern, I did, and I think you did also, that I don't know if he is an edge rusher because he just didn't do a lot of that in college. He could be, but I didn't see it, so I have no production to fall back on, to lean on, to say, well, I saw that, because he could blitz from sort of a monster robber spy position, but he went to a team that doesn't really need him to immediately be an edge rusher because they should be loaded. I don't know, maybe those guys aren't going to live up, but Brian Burns lives up.
He do.
And I keep waiting for more from Thibodeau because I liked him a lot in college, and Abdul Carter's still a baby to me, so we're not sure, but I think he can rush the passer.
Thibodeau had a 10, 11
He
sack
did.
season
No,
already.
I got it.
So
I got it.
no
But they're
slouch
down
now.
on him. He's sort of in and out of the rotation, and I don't know. But they're stacked there.
Yeah.
With high picks, right? With these are all first round guys these aren't out of the blue third rounders that suddenly came alive.
These guys.
Yeah, these are guys. And so with Arvell Reese, I could make a case he's the most explosive athlete in the draft, right? I mean, just all around athletic ability. I can make a case that he's even beyond Sonny Styles as a tester, as an athlete, as a size, speed, strength, explosion guy. And so he fell because a whole lot of those mocks, I'm going to mock the mocks, but a whole lot of them had Arvell Reese going second to the Jets. Okay, so he is falling into your lap, and you can't not take him. You just have to say, okay, we'll take him. But you could take Caleb Downs. You could just say, no, the best player, the best defensive player in the draft is Caleb Downs. But they said no to him twice. And my only problem with Maui Noah is he's got a degenerative disc that might need surgery, and maybe it's just microdiscectomy surgery, like it's fairly quick and painless, where you can go in with the scope and fix it, but they say he's probably going to need surgery before the start of the season.
Wow.
So I don't know, but he is by rank. I always tell you, it's hard for me, except for Monroe Freeling, to watch, because when I saw Freeling, I said, whoa, I could see him jump off my screen and dominate. And where did he go? To Carolina, I think, and he went later. But Kuiper, had Mainoa ranked the highest.
I had him as my number one offensive lineman too.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, so you can't argue with it, right? Okay. So I'm going to go starter, and maybe star. Maybe you got a chance for star. So I got to go at least A- on it.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, the chat is really agreeing with you guys. They're really torn between A and B. So all to say, good job to the Giants.
Yeah.
I'm excited to see them next year. Now let's talk about the Cardinals, because they made the move that everybody was wondering if they were going to do. They obviously took Jeremiyah Love at pick 3. The issue with picking a running back so early is you're going to have to pay them as much as the top running backs in the league.
Yep.
So I'm going to bring this up right now. Jeremiyah Love right here is going to be paid the same as or more than Josh Jacobs, Travis Etienne, James Cook, Kenneth Walker. It's a lot of money for a guy that you don't know yet. Every draft pick is a gamble. So, Cody, did the Cardinals make the right move here?
I know there's a lot of mixed emotions with this draft pick,
Yeah.
but not for me. I love this pick by them. I think they made the right move. Jeremiyah Love was, in my opinion, the best player in this entire draft. When you watch him on tape, he has great speed, he has great vision, he has great patience.
Wow.
He has not only short, quick speed that he can make you miss in the hole, but he also has breakaway speed to where you give him an angle, he can take off and run. But he's not only good as a runner, he's also good as a catcher out of the backfield, and he also can line up in the slot and run routes like a wide receiver at all 3 levels. You can send him on a slant route, you can send him on an option route and run an intermediate route, and then you can send him on a go route over the top or a wheel route and let him get behind a linebacker or a safety. He's a mismatch in the pass game as well. So I think this was a great move because of his value. And being a running back that's also a pass catcher, you can stay on the field at all times. You don't have to come off the field on 3rd down or in obvious passing situations. So your value goes up because of that. That's why I think he's worth such a high pick. I also see this through their quarterback lens. Now, obviously, they don't have their future franchise guy yet, but when that time comes for them to draft their franchise quarterback, which will most likely be next year, maybe the year after that, depending on where they draft, they are putting him in a great position to succeed with the talent on the offensive side of the ball, because now you have Marvin Harrison Jr., you have Trey McBride, you have Michael Wilson, you have Jeremiyah Love, they added Tyler Algier, they got James Conner. There's so many weapons in place. They still got to address the right side of the offensive line, but you're putting a quarterback, your quarterback of the future, in a great position from day one because of the talent that they built on the roster. And then the other reason that I love this is this shows full support in their head coach, Mike LaFleur. I guarantee you Mike LaFleur was very involved in this draft pick and said, go get me Jeremiyah Love. LaFleur just spent the last 3 years with the Rams. What did they do well? They ran the football efficiently. They were number 7 in rushing offense last year. He knows with this scheme, you have to be balanced, and that is heavily influenced by being able to run the football. If you don't have a dominant run game, it's not going to open up the play-action game. It's not going to open up some of those one-on-one opportunities in the pass game. So he understands the importance of being able to run the football. Like I said, they still got to address the offensive line. They still got to address the defense. But I really like this move by the Cardinals, and I think they're going in the right direction under Mike LaFleur.
I'm with Cody. I love the pick, man. You draft a first-round tackle in 23, Paris Johnson. You come back 24.
Yep.
You draft Marvin Harrison Jr. That's your receiver. You know what I'm saying? You go D-tackle that year, and the next year. This year you draft your running back, and now you're a quarterback away from having that real core offense. And then you got your tight end. You got McBride in there as well. So you with a quarterback-heavy draft next year, you got a bridge guy for this year. You know what I'm saying? You got a guy who can get you over the hump this year, see what he got. And if you want to, you'll probably be able to get one of these quarterbacks for next year. It's going to be a bunch of them in there. If you're going to find your quarterback of the future, he's probably going to be in next year's draft. So I like it, man. The fan base, they won't be mad at you picking the best player in the draft.
Agreed.
You know what I'm saying? It's a big name. It's an offensive touchdown scorer, 20 touchdowns, both of his last years in college. The fan base will love the pick. It's a safe, solid pick for you. And I think the running backs, they can get paid like that because you do know. Yeah, I think you do know. It's an easier position. Like, it's not corner. It's not edge. It's like, bro, you just get the ball and run. If you could run,
depending on your O-line, for sure.
Exactly. And if you could tote the bitch with Notre Dame O-line, you could tote it with an NFL O-line. It's not hard to predict who's going to be a good running back. I think that's one of the easier positions to predict who's going to be good and who's not going to be good. You put him in a system, anybody could be damn good.
But that's why Jeremiyah Love, I think, is so valuable because he's not just a running back you're going to turn around, give the ball to, and make him run in between the tackles. Mike LaFleur can split him out wide. You can use him in the screen game. We can get him a couple end arounds, different ways to get him in space to where you can make up some of the deficiencies that you have with your offensive line. That's why I love this pairing between him and Mike LaFleur.
And I feel like Mike LaFleur, he's in that Sean McVay system.
Yep.
Any running back can really ball in this system because it's how we block it up. But what makes the difference is can you turn that 6-yard carry to a 16-yard carry? And that's what he's proven to do. We've seen him do that time and time again. So I think it was a safe, solid pick. Your fan base will love it. If you passed on him and he ended up being who we think he is, then you wouldn't hear the end of it. You know what I'm saying? So I don't think you can pass on probably the best player in the draft.
Agreed.
So who do you think he is?
I think he's probably going to be like
Hard to compare.
It's hard to compare, but he's going to be one of the
Is he like a Bijan Robinson?
I think he's right now obviously slightly a tier below that elite group of guys, the Robinsons, the CMC, the Jonathan Taylors, those group of guys. But I think he has the potential, if they continue to build around him and get the right pieces in place, to jump into that elite group within maybe 2 years, 3 years. Now they got to figure out the quarterback situation so they're not just focused on the run game. But yeah, the potential to be in the elite group, 100%.
It just sounds backwards to say that we're going to focus on the quarterback position after we do all this other stuff when that's the most important position.
But there's no, to Aqib's point, there's no quarterback in the
draft
that's worth the third round or third overall pick. And also if you trade back and they don't love Ty Simpson, because if they love Ty Simpson and they think you're the guy, I don't give a shit if it's pick 3 or pick 16 or pick 20 or pick 30. If that's the guy you think's your future quarterback, take him. They obviously didn't feel that way, so they felt more comfortable taking a Jeremiyah.
You got to build your team how
and
it
then
comes.
Get your quarterback. Yeah,
you got to build it how you come.
But if he's not Bijan, if he's not Saquon, if he's not
I think he
Derrick
is gonna
Henry,
be one of the
if he's not.
I think he's going to be a top back in the league. Once they get going, I think he'll be one of the top backs in the league.
After they get their quarterback?
Maybe after they get some more linemen, after they get solidify, all right, this is our team. After they get their quarterback, this is our team. A year in the system, I feel like they'll be there. With LaFleur, let him get his feet wet. Let him establish his team there, and I think he'll be one of the best backs back there.
That's why I need a comparison of who he's supposed to show up as.
Like a Cedric Benson.
No, better than that.
I mean, he was nice, though. Said he get the league, boy. He told her like a strong.
You see any Adrian Peterson at all?
I see a little AP in him. I see a little AP, but a better receiver.
That was a great
better
running
receiver.
Style, Skip.
Yeah.
I'm telling you, like
really?
a McFadden. I'm telling you, bro.
More McFadden than Adrian Peterson.
See, McFadden hit the league balling, though. So I think he's going to be a top back.
MVP Adrian Peterson downhill. We know when you get the ball, it's trouble.
Man, I think Love is going to be a hell of a back.
Yeah.
I didn't say Bijan or Gibbs because it's not that quick. It's not that. It's not that type of running. It's more of a bigger, powerful type guy. But he can split out, catch the ball. I'm telling you, man. It's
Bijan is powerful. I get what you're saying as far as that, but I'm just saying as far as like impact, like jump out the screen. He don't jump out the screen to me. He don't jump out the screen to me.
Really?
He jumped in that. He jumped out the box 20 times
Because I'm comparing him to the Gibbs, the Bijans, not based on style, just based
on numbers.
How you can impact the game.
Did them guys have back-to-back 20 touchdown seasons in college?
It's different times, different teams, different schedules, and all of that. You can say that with numbers when you got to go see it in its fruition. Like, I think Bijan showed up to be everything we thought he could be based on his potential. So, same with Jahmyr Gibbs.
Them top 5 running backs in the league.
That's what I'm. As far as this draft pick and the expectation, is the expectation there for him to be?
Oh, I think it's right there for sure. I might have played him with Cedric Benson. I think he's going to be a top tier back.
And then I would just say it's the Cardinals, so it don't matter.
Oh, dang. Skip, how you feel?
But you know what? That's the point. And I think that was your point. It is the Cardinals, and they just took a real guy. You know, they just took a potential superstar, and it raises the nation's eyebrows. Like, oh, Arizona, they got Jeremiyah Love?
Yep.
for the sake of the fan base, for the sake of the locker room, for the sake of all those offices there in their building, it's like there's new pep in the step. We got the guy, man. A lot of people thought he was the best player in the draft, and they got him. Okay, back to Ty Simpson. So you brought up Mike LaFleur.
Yeah.
Rams last 3 years.
Mm-hmm.
So he's sitting at 3. Some people did project Ty Simpson potentially to 3 to Arizona. You need a quarterback? There's a quarterback. And he said, no, I'll take the running back. Okay, what? So he knows the Ram system, Sean's system as well as anybody.
Yeah,
he was supposed to be, he wouldn't call him plays, but he's strategizing with Sean every day for 3 years.
Mm-hmm.
So if he doesn't take Ty Simpson, why would Sean want him at 13? I just don't think Sean wanted him that badly. I think it was 100%. The GM wanted him. Okay, just for the record, because that was a big deal to me that the new coach said, Mike LaFleur said, no, I want the running back. I don't want the quarterback. And obviously the positional value is much higher at quarterback than running back. But no, he said that. And I give it an A, man. I'm with you.
Todd Gurley.
Okay, there's one. Yeah.
I see a lot of TG in him.
Okay.
Big, explosive, put his foot in the ground, hit it, catch the ball out the backfield, great hands. Todd Gurley. I see a lot of TG in my dog.
Good comparison.
Yeah.
I see it.
And the beauty you brought up is I do think you can split him out a lot.
Yes.
You can break the huddle and he can.
Out. That's not really how TG was.
I know,
TG used to catch. They used to put him go empty, put him right there, let him catch them tunnel screens and get up in there. Like, you know what I'm saying?
He just got hurt. And it's just,
but he said, 5 years, he went crazy.
He went crazy.
Oh, hey, man, if you get that out of love, I'm good with that.
And real quick about Jacoby Brissett, I think you said this the other day. I've always respected him. I think he's pretty good.
I agree.
Right?
Solid.
And he's 6'5", and he doesn't seem, but he's listed at 6'5". And go watch the tape of Monday Night Football at Jerry World last year. See what Jacoby Brissett looked like, because he picked us to pieces.
Hey, we'd rather have
I feel like he's a nice bridge guy for you until you find your quarterback of the future. Man, we could live with Jacoby.
With Mike LaFleur calling plays and the weapons you detailed, because now you got a whole. Hey,
you got an offense.
You got an offense, bro.
I know you play in the toughest division in pro football, but still, are you going to shock some people next year and win some games?
I think they will.
I think so.
Yeah. Yeah, because to your point, running back translates the fastest of any position on the field because it's just natural. It's just it's not that cerebral, although you say protections, and we went back and forth about this. I got pass pro.
They'll take your ass out if you can't protect. They put somebody else on third.
Okay.
First down, ain't no protection.
But Jeremiyah Love
can.
He can pass pro and he can run routes and catch out of the backfield. That's why he can be an every down back, which has a lot of value to him.
All right. So all of a sudden, it inspires the whole franchise, and I think they're going to be hard to deal with. Their offense is going to be a problem for people next year because they got serious weapons.
They do.
Trey McBride is
he's
just a monster. You know, come on, man. So, man, I love what they did. That had to be the pick. You know, that was the one. You have to make that choice at that spot.
Wow. I mean, so the chat is going 60% that said this is a good move. I'm actually surprised because 40% said it wasn't.
Just 60? That's crazy.
Yeah, only 60. So we're going to see what Jeremiyah loves. I want to wrap up, though, round one. So I do want to I'm going to start with Cody. Cody, who do you think had the best draft for round one?
I'm going with the New York Jets. I think the Jets had the best round one draft. I mean, they did a good job. They added 3 players that could potentially start and make an impact from day one.
Absolutely.
That's really what you're looking to do in the first round. Can we add 3 guys that can come in and immediately be a factor on offense or defense from the first day they step foot inside of our building? And I think they did just that. First, they went and got David Bailey with the 2nd overall pick. A lot of people thought they might take Arvell Reese, but not on this couch. We all agree that David Bailey should be the 2nd overall pick because that's what they needed to do. Last year, the Jets had 26 sacks, which was 31st in the NFL. They needed to add a premier pass rusher, and David Bailey immediately makes them better in that area. I think because of his production last season with 14.5 sacks, they're going to see that number 26 go up next year with him and McDonald. Next guy they went and added was Kenyon Sadiq. And I know a lot of people were torn on this pick, but I actually really like it for a couple reasons. One, I watched him play a lot of football at Oregon the last couple of seasons. I watched him terrorize my Trojans last year, and he is just a phenomenal football player. He has the skill set and the size of a tight end, but he runs like a wide receiver. It is a very rare combination of size and speed. He runs a 4.3 40 at 6'3", 240 pounds. Not a lot of guys can do that. So you can use him in a lot of different ways. He can put his hand in the dirt and he's willing to go be a blocker, but I think he'll be more used as a slot receiver or a guy that you can split out wide and get a one-on-one with a safety or a linebacker and get some man-to-man opportunities. So I really like that move. Also, Frank Reich's their new offensive coordinator. He likes to use their tight ends a lot, and he'll utilize 12 personnel, which is 2 tight end sets. So I know they just drafted Mason Taylor last year in the second round, but now you have 2 options and 2 weapons at tight end, so you can run a lot more of those 12 personnel groupings and give your quarterback more options with running the football or using the play action and then throwing it to these guys as well. And then the final thing they did is what I said they should do on Monday is be aggressive, trade back in the first round, and go get another weapon on offense. And they did just that. They went and got Omar Cooper Jr., who I'm a big fan of. 20 touchdowns the last 2 seasons. All he does is make big-time plays. In 2024, he averaged over 20 yards per catch. Plays primarily out of the slot, but he can play on the outside as well if you want him to. I think he'll be a great pairing with him and Garrett Wilson to create some more one-on-one opportunities for each of them. So I really like what the Jets did. I think they won the draft last night.
I like it. I could easily win with the Jets because I think they got 3 starters. I wanted to go a little outside the box. I think the Browns won the draft.
That was my number 2.
Yeah, I think the Browns won the draft last night, man. They got one of the best tackles available. You know what I'm saying? Spencer Fano. I had the privilege of watching the draft with Gunnar White, the Colorado Buffaloes offensive line coach. I watched about the nice portion of the draft with him because he went to my sister-in-law's house and offered my nephew. You know what I'm saying? Nephew got the O last night, so I was watching a little draft with Gunnar, and he raved about Utah tackles. He said them was the top 2 tackles in the draft, both of them. And he honestly...
Why wasn't Utah better?
I mean, I thought the Browns got the better of the 2.
Yeah.
He honestly said that he thought that Caleb was the better of the 2. You know what I'm saying? So I think they did a good job addressing the need. They O-line ranked last on PFF. And if you rank last, you need help. Now they got a 6'6", 311-pound Uso to add to that revamped line. You know what I'm saying? So I thought that was a great pick for him. And then they add Casey Concepcion. That's an immediate juice for Shador at receiver, man. That's immediate juice. You could throw him a screen. You could throw him quick game. He can get deep. He can win one-on-ones. This is 6 feet, 200-pound receiver. He could damn near be your X if you want him to be. And I just love the immediate juice that it adds. This is a guy who had major production in college. That's what I like. I like major production for consistent years. He had 1,000 yards from scrimmage, 10 touchdowns, 2 out of his 3 seasons, and he leaving school with 28 touchdowns scored, bro. That's major. You drop 28 touchdowns, that's major at receiver.
It is.
So I just love the production, and it's like they drafted 3 people because he gonna be your punt returner too. You know what I'm saying? So they bringing you some explosion on the punt return, the receiver, and the offensive tackle who's gonna come in and start. Hey, 2 first-round picks. 2 starters, you know what I'm saying? I love it. So, man, I love what they're doing in Cleveland. They're trying to turn that thing. That's 2 years in a row. They had great drafts, man. So I'm excited to see what they do for the rest of the draft.
And it was important, too. They traded back from 6 to 9, still got their guy, and added a 3rd and 5th round pick to get some more draft capital.
Right.
It was a great move by Barry.
How you feeling, Rashad?
I mean, to not be biased and say the Eagles, I would have to go with New York, the Giants. I would probably say they did the solid, most convenient thing for what they're looking for and what they need to do. And hopefully throughout the draft, they continue to build on it. But as far as building blocks, they didn't go spectacular. They went safe. And I think that's what you need to do when you're rebuilding is, you know, you've already got your franchise guy. You don't have to go blockbuster. They just kind of slowly building around, stacking blocks, stacking assets. And I think that's more important right now. So I think they win.
So I went to sleep last night agreeing with your Jet overview. Because David Bailey was the best pass rusher in the draft, and they sat right there and took him. And Omar Cooper Jr., he's one, again, I'm just watching television. Every time I watched him, I said, God, he can play. I like the way he moved. I like the way he leaped. I think he helped Mendoza look a little better than Mendoza should have looked because he made some catches. I know he was sweet with his back shoulders, Mendoza was, but I love that pick, and they traded up for that last
And what
pick.
I was annoyed about that, because as a Niners fan,
I know.
I would have wanted
That's
Omar
true.
Cooper Jr.
No, that's a good
for
point.
We
real.
need weapons at receiver, so I'm like, what just happened?
And that offense too, he would go crazy. In there.
Yeah, I was upset.
Okay, but the one that I stuck on when I woke up this morning is Sadiq. And I know what you say.
Yeah.
I get it, but it just seemed slightly high to me. And I'm also a little biased because of Mason Taylor, who's their second-round pick. I like him a lot. And obviously, he can play two tight ends. But I just know him through Jason Taylor and an ex-teammate of mine, Joy Taylor. This is her nephew,
Yeah.
Jason's son. And I was like, well, you already got him. Do you need both of them? And now to the flashpoint, they could have had Mekhi Lemon. He's sitting right there, and they let him go. So to me, the best draft ended up being your draft, the Eagles draft, just because it came out of nowhere. And the degree of difficulty to go from 23 up to 20 to pull off the steal of the draft. I'm doing this for your sake, actually.
He better ball.
He go ball.
better go
He's
crazy.
gonna ball, bro.
Skip, no,
He's
I'm
not
be
gonna
on
play
your
the
ass.
X though. He's
All
not
year,
playing
I'm
the
gonna
X.
be on your ass, Skip. If
He's
you don't
gonna ball. Watch.
Is
God,
he's
He's gonna
the
ball.
perfect pick for the perfect team at the perfect time.
Yes.
He's just what the doctor ordered for Jalen Hurts, because he works the middle of the field for a team that never worked the middle of the field. And Sean Mannion wants to throw it over the middle of the football field. And Mekhi Lemon will make himself available in the middle of the football field again and again and again. He will become Jalen Hurts' best friend, and I think he will lift an offense that was below average. Is that fair to say last year? It just
Underperformed.
Yes.
just underperformed.
With the talent they have.
Okay. All of a sudden, he's going to bring a jolt of electricity to an offense from day one. He will be a day one starter outside at the X. And that's the steal of the draft.
KC Concepcion just had more touchdowns than Lemon, more touchdowns than Tate, and more touchdowns than Tyson.
I know.
So I don't know. He a major sleeper, man. I don't know. Production.
Oh, I like Casey.
Production-based
Yeah.
business.
All right, let's do the ladder then. We got who won the draft in your guys' eyes.
first?
Shot, I'm going to start.
Rashad, all right.
Yeah, let's shot. Who won the first round of the draft? Or who lost? Sorry.
Lost the first
Lost.
round of the draft. Who do I got as my loser? I would feel like the totality of it all, I don't think anyone lost. To me, to be honest. I feel like everybody went, it was going to be a chaotic draft to begin with. So it was going to be one of those drafts where you're going to be able to get something for close to nothing. You're looking for something, you're not going to necessarily get your need, but you'll be able to get potential. And I think a lot of teams are desperate, especially the ones that haven't been winning. They're looking for immediate results right away. And I don't think this was the draft for immediate results, except for a certain amount of players that can come in and play right away. But I don't think it was one of those, we're going to be excited about this pick, especially in the first round. I think teams will gradually build, depends on who's available. And if you don't go get what's best available at the time, your team is scraping. I think right now is build assets, the next two drafts, find, the Arch Mannings, the different type of talent is going to be available in the next 2 years. You build off that. But I can't say anybody lost. I can say everybody came up and got what they needed. And they're going to go into the season trying to figure out, all right, how do we place based on what we have?
Okay.
I'm going the worst draft, the Rams. I feel like they dropped the ball. I feel like with Matthew Stafford and that team that you have, you need somebody who can help you win right now. Who can help us beat Seattle right now?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? That's what I'm doing with the 13th pick. And it was guys out there who can help them beat Seattle right now. Mekhi Lemon was out there. He can help them beat Seattle. KC Concepcion. Both of those guys answered. They solved 2 problems for you. You got a future starting receiver because Devontae turning 34 during the season.
Yep.
And then you got a returner with either one of those guys. You know what I'm saying? They lost a game. They lost not a game. They lost the NFC Championship game because of a muff punt.
They did.
Now you got a guy who gonna solve that problem for you right now. They pass on him. You just had your right tackle, Bigger Rob Havenstein. He just retired. You know what I'm saying? You got guys, Monroe Freeling sitting right there. He can hop in and start right tackle for you right now. You know what I'm saying? Athletic guy, outside zone. He could do all that shit for you right now. He can help you get past Seattle. Maybe you run the ball a little bit better, a little bit more athletic. He can help you right now. You got Kenyon Sadiq. You run 12 personnel, 13 personnel all damn day long.
You do.
You got the most athletic, pass catching, blocking. You got a great tight end sitting right there, right? That's your tight end of the future. Your tight end, they getting kind of older. You know what I'm saying? You got one. He could be your future tight end right here. He can help you right now.
Yep.
You could split him out, mismatch waiting to happen. It was guys who was there who can help you right now, and you chose to get a quarterback who may help you in 2 years, because Matthew Stafford is in contract extension talks right now. So he's not even going to help you this year. He's probably not going to help you next year. I don't know. I just feel like you dropped the ball.
You think Stafford can play 2 more years?
I mean, if they talking about they contract, they extending his contract.
He just won MVP.
Yeah, he just won MVP. That's what I'm saying. I don't see how he can't.
So he's
I think for sure he can play.
38.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. So can he play until he's 40? Tom played till he's 45.
I think if you won MVP last year, how he looked last year, he for sure got 2 more years at least. Sure.
I agree. So he has to stay healthy, but I agree.
I mean, even if he don't, if he hurt all year this year, he's still going to be the starter next year. They're going to say, all right, let's see if he can stay healthy. We can. That window is still there. So I don't know if I'm Sean, if I'm Les, man, who can help me beat Seattle right now? And I don't think they did. They wasted a 13th pick with a future backup, in my opinion.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, so I agree with you on that take, but I went a little different direction on this. The team that I think had the worst draft or lost this draft were the Pittsburgh Steelers. And it's not because of who they drafted, it's because of what happened to them on draft night. And we watched the video earlier, but they're sitting there at 21, and they made a phone call to Mekhi Lemon that we talked about, who we're big fans of, who I would have loved if the Steelers got him. But they made a phone call to Mekhi Lemon because the Cowboys were picking one spot ahead of them, and they thought, okay, well, Dallas isn't going to take a receiver. This is a surefire thing. Let's call Mekhi. Let's put the ticket in. Let's let him know he's about to be a Pittsburgh Steeler. While he's on the phone with Pittsburgh, sure enough, Philadelphia trades up from 23 to 20, trades with the division rival, your Cowboys, goes up and takes Mekhi Lemon from the Pittsburgh Steelers. And even worse, on their home turf. The draft is in Pittsburgh. They went there and took the guy that they wanted right in front of their face.
Oh, he's so
and then took him back to Philadelphia. So I do like the guy that they picked, the Ionicher, the Max Ionicher, their lineman that they drafted. But because of how that went down and the fact that they got the guy stolen from them right in front of their face, and Mekhi Lemon, I got to say Pittsburgh lost.
Okay.
Didn't they draft a tackle first round last year? Like, it seemed like Pittsburgh just draft a tackle every year. It's like it's a tackle, and then I don't know what happened to him. Then they draft another tackle, and he disappeared. Like, God damn.
I think they did actually. Broderick or
did they?
The guy's name. I think
last year.
Yeah.
Like, man, it seemed like a tackle every year.
I think you're right. But they weren't going to. They wanted Mekhi Lemon, called them, hey,
you're right. Major loss.
Get ready to stay here. Keep your bags packed. Don't stay right here.
I like Max, though. Max was on the board. He was on the board for LA at 13. It could have been another guy they could have got.
The thing about Max, too, is he's only been playing football for 5 years now. So he has a ton of upside. So that's why I'm saying they didn't lose because of the guy.
No, he's a good player.
It's because of how it went
Slow
down.
feet don't eat, man. Slow feet don't eat. You better move them feet.
So I love your hate of the Rams pick. I'm with you on that. But for me, this is easy. The worst draft for me was Tennessee's draft because I'm on record. I just don't like Carnell Tate that high. Way too high.
You know.
It's like it's absurdly high. It's what are you thinking high?
Damn.
He's not special. Give me Jordan Tyson there. Give me
Lemon.
Give me Mekhi Lemon. Give me somebody. I'll take Concepcion. I will. I want electricity, and I just don't see enough from him. And I actually feel for him because he's going to get thrust into a situation where the world is going to say, okay, show us number one, like be the guy. And I just don't think he's that guy. I don't think he has that mentality. I don't think he has that dog in him. Maybe I'll be wrong. But they capped it off by trading up into the top of the first round, and they took that Keldrick Falk from Auburn. And again, I watched bits and pieces of Auburn last year, and he never caught my eye. And I watched the entire game because I'm an alum of Vanderbilt University, but I watched Auburn at Vanderbilt, and it was 45-38 in overtime. And I went back last night and looked up Keldrick Falk in that game. He had one tackle, period. One tackle, no sacks, and it goes overtime. And you would think he could chase little Diego Pavia down and sack him one time or get his hands on him, and he didn't. And I don't understand it. It's another one where you're betting on like ridiculous upside. Like what do you see? You're projecting. Is he a project? I don't know. I just don't get that. I never saw it. He never leaped off my TV screen. So to me, those two are going to get you nowhere. That's just
no way. Tate come out and be a JSN or a Buka
I just don't see it. But to your point, I can't say that I saw JSN or Ibuka when I watched them on TV. But I did. I saw more than this. And listen, Jeremiah Smith is going to be a superstar.
Yeah.
A year from now, that's all we're going to be talking about is who's going to get Jeremiah Smith.
Superstar.
That's just me. And if you're opposite him in that offense, you're going to look better than you should. That's just me.
And I'm telling you, it's just O State. It's always two. Now you're going to have Jeremiah Smith and Chris Henry Jr. there. And one of them is just not going to look as good as the other one.
Yeah.
And who's to say it ain't going to be Jeremiah Smith this year? This Chris Henry the one who lit up the spring game with the touchdowns, and he's going crazy. So, hey.
Because they're going to want to take away Smith. They're
going to have to take
until you prove that another guy on the roster.
If you don't come into that game saying we roll in the coverage to Smith, if we playing zone, if we playing cover 4, it got to be cover 6. We got to roll it this way.
Absolutely.
We got to and leave him backside one-on-one. If we playing man and safety, you got to be on Jeremiah Smith. So if you don't do that, then you're just not trying to win that football game. So I could easily see Chris Henry Jr. coming out and being the one with the 1,000 yards, 14 touchdowns.
No, he could. He's more talented than Tate is to me.
So,
I mean, you never know.
Why though?
Tate's like a 4.6 guy to me.
Well, who would you compare him to?
Average. I mean, nobody. Come on. He's just a guy to me. He's just a guy.
He went crazy. That was a solid season, though, at Ohio State. Playing
he's 6'3", right?
6'2". No, I don't think he's 6'3". 6'2"?
I thought he was 6'3". I thought he was 6'3" for sure.
Okay.
You're pairing him with the talent like Cam Ward, who needs a receiver who can go get me something.
Yep.
He didn't have nothing. Like Ridley, cool, off year, but you watch Cam out there as frustrated as he is as far as getting time to actually throw the ball, but actually getting back there and seeing your options and having an option.
No, I got it. No.
He can be an option.
Yeah.
Like, I think that this may be one of the situations that he needs as a young quarterback to have a duo.
Yeah.
I'm here and I got somebody. Just like having Shador have somebody for him to depend on. It looks different when you have somebody.
Jordan Tyson is a 1. Like he was always a 1.
Easy.
He just can't stay healthy. And I still can't get past the fact, I don't know what happened because I need to call Dion and find out, but Dion had Jordan Tyson for his first year, and he wrecked his knee, but then Dion didn't work hard to keep him, and he hit the portal and went to Arizona State, right?
I mean, because you see, look, out of that group, Dion got 3 receivers from that team who flirting in the league right now. So, I mean, like it was like, hey, bro, I got wideouts coming with me. I got guys here. So if you're going to go, he wasn't going to beg nobody to stay. Like, you the one coming off the injury. You should be trying to stay with us.
Yeah.
We the show.
Okay. Yeah.
If you ain't trying to do that, then you can go.
But if you that guy, Dion ain't gonna let you go.
Man,
That's
Dion
what I'm
had
saying.
that guy.
That's
What
what
you
I'm
mean?
saying.
He's not gonna just let you go though. He's not gonna.
He had
Dion
that
is
guy.
definitely not gonna be like, go ahead. He gonna be like, no, rest over here.
All right, so if
Come get
if
better
I pull
over
up
here.
with Travis Hunter, and you like, man, I don't know if I want. Bruh, I don't know. You can do whatever you want to do. I got this guy. This is the number 1 pick. What are you talking about? I got him, fam. And then I got go ahead, Cody. You good? You great with the names. Who the other ones? Who the other ones?
You were talking about Colorado during that?
Yeah, the Colorado one for Baltimore. Who the receivers they had?
Oh, yeah. I know who you're talking about.
The
The one from Baltimore, and I can't think of his name.
I'm blanking on the name, but I know you're.
Man, they got 2 or 3 receivers
They
who
do. They
in the
do.
NFL
That
right
is
now.
true.
They was on the roster. Like, come on, they got guys. So he like, bro, I'm coming with this, and I got this guy. If you want to move around, bro, I'm not gonna pay you a crazy number for you to stay. If you want to go, you can go. So that's just how Prime gonna operate, bro. Especially when he got this guy right here.
So
You know
with
what I'm
Prime operating like that, why would we take him over Carnell Taya?
Because that was the freshman him. Then you got to see the sophomore him and the junior him and the senior him. Like, yeah, and he transformed to a whole nother nigga. I'm telling you. He transformed to a whole nother grown man out here. And
he got hurt, and he got hurt, and he got
did.
hurt.
He did. But so did JSN. And look at JSN now.
Okay, well, I'll say this for Carnell Tate.
JSN went crazy at O State for 1 year.
He did, but all of a sudden, Carnell Tate is in position to be JSN because he's going to be the man.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, okay,
So we'll see.
So you're in the perfect spot to show me Abuka. Show me rookie year Abuka.
Show me what that O State do.
Yeah. Okay.
I'm going to throw another name into the hat that I thought was a loser. I know. I thought the Vikings. I didn't like.
You know what? That's a good one because
I
that
didn't like
was
Caleb
bizarre.
What?
What?
He played 3 games in 2025 for the Gators last year.
Yeah.
Because of his foot injury. I don't know. I didn't like it. I thought that was a big L for the Vikings.
And he's had a recent surgery on his foot, and he weighs 330 pounds as a defensive tackle. And Kuiper had him.
But
Okay.
if he healthy, he a problem.
Okay.
Aqib doesn't mind the injuries if they're healthy.
Yeah, like, bro, you can't just say, oh, he got hurt. I'm the total opposite of Shannon. If you limp in, you limp like that. That's if you could run in and limp out. You know what I'm saying? We seen plenty of guys run in and limp out. I was never hurt at Kansas. I never missed a game for injury at Kansas. When I got to the league, I missed hella games for injury. So what?
Okay.
What? That's the total opposite of what he's saying. So I don't give a damn. It's football. You gon' get hurt. I'm picking you off your production. If you got goddamn 1,000 yards and 10 touchdowns and you got hurt, then you came back next year, got 1,000 yards and 10 touchdowns. He nice. I want him on my team, bro. Anybody can get hurt. It is what it is.
Yeah, remember, the Vikings were desperate for a defensive tackle because they tried Jonathan Allen and Hargrave and the free agents, and they both busted. So they don't have anybody. So they just said, close your eyes and plunge. And I was
we'll
like,
find out.
Because Kuiper has him ranked like 64th or something like that, and he goes, was it like 18th?
Yeah, 18th.
What?
LeJontay Wester, Jimmy Horn Jr.
Wester.
Jimmy Horn Jr. Hey, you know who else was nice too is Omarion Miller. That's
And they had Omarion Miller.
He
Look,
was
he
nice
got
too.
guys, so I ain't gonna beg him to stay when I got
Jimmy Horn
guys,
Jr.
NFL receivers right now.
I told you, Jordan Tyson coming out of the high school that you love, the A, right?
A up, man.
A up.
Yeah.
Okay, coming out, he was ranked the 131st prospect at receiver coming out of high school. 131 in the nation.
He was in Texas.
He was a
hard in Texas.
late bloomer, you know, like.
What was our rank coming out? I wasn't like the top DB. I was like a 2-3 star coming out. And I'm lead, man. So fuck about no high school ranking.
You are
You know what I'm
lead.
saying? We want to see the finished product, baby.
Hey, and back to the Pittsburgh thing too. It was Broderick Jones was 2023.
Oh, yeah,
drafted
yeah,
in the first round.
That's a good
And they
one.
got Fontenot in 24. They went Harmon from Oregon last year, but 3 of the last 4 years they've gone tackle.
Tackles,
Yeah.
and like, God
Yeah.
damn.
And they're gone.
Got enough
They're
tackles?
like
Yeah.
lost, right?
But that's the whole. They weren't going to go tackle. They wanted Mekhi Lemon
They did.
to come in and parent. Man, I would have loved to see him pair up with Pittman
with
Jr.
DK.
again too, and then
He been in a good
obviously
spot.
DK. Man, that would have been crazy.
Aaron Rodgers might have lasted a whole year.
All right, guys. Well, we have a fun weekend filled with more draft picks. So
Yes,
you
we
know we're
do.
going to be back here on
We
the
will.
couch on Monday with so much to discuss. This was so much fun today. Thank you guys so much for watching another episode of Gridiron presented by Underdog. Woo woo!